Hello and welcome back. This is Queen 3210 and god damn it, Jesse Cox, you've done it again. Now for those of you who are confused, Jesse Cox is the YouTuber who actually got me into games like Dishonored and Dead Space. Basically what would happen is I would be watching one of his Let's Plays, and then halfway through the first video I would decide I wanted to play the game myself. So I would turn it off and go out and buy the game. And it turns out that the letter is no different. Well, technically, what happened to this time is I was watching him and Dodger play this new game called The Saint Maker. But there was reference to the letter in that video, so I figured I would check out one of his old videos to see how the game played. And I did. And then I went out and bought it, because I decided I wanted to do a Let's Play. So, full disclosure, I have watched some part of the game. I'd like to say it's not a large chunk of the game, but I have seen some of it. So, full disclosure in the beginning. You'll also notice that there's a continue option at the top here, and that's because I initially downloaded the demo just to see if I could play through it. I played like maybe a couple of minutes in, but before I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to buy the full game, which turned out to be a whopping $22 on Steam. And that's not on sale, and including tax. So for those of you who are interested in checking out the letter, I would highly recommend you do so, for the low price of $22 or your regional equivalent. So, the long and the short of it is this. I watched someone play this game for a little while, decided I wanted to play it too. Bought the game. And while I know how the beginning starts and whatnot, I haven't played a large chunk of this game. So, for the most part, it will still be a blind Let's Play. On top of which, we're going to do a little something different than I normally do on visual novel playthroughs. Normally, I would play with the controller, but today I'm going to play with mouse and keyboard, just to change things up a little. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the options and see what we have available to us. So, gameplay-wise, difficulty is easy and normal. There is a QuickTime option. You can actually skip the QTEs. Normally, that's what I would do, especially if it's a action-adventure game, because QTE is bullshit. But, because this is a visual novel, I'm going to keep it on. The reason I'm going to do that is because it gives the game another layer of interactivity, I guess you could say. So, if I do change my mind, though, I can jump back into the options at any time and turn it off. So, there's that at least. We've got all of our characters here. Sound seems to be okay with them. There's background and sound effects. That's fine. Text. Skip stops at unread text. That's fine, but we're not going to be doing skip. Classic or instant. We'll do classic. Got a bunch of other languages that we can do, but we're going to keep it in English. Autoplay delay is like maybe that much, but again, we're not really going to be doing autoplay because we're just going to be playing it for the first time. Quality is high, display is full screen, texture is high, and resolution is 1920 to 1080. So that's it for that. There's gallery, there's news. I'm not sure what the news is. But, yeah. I guess that's basically it. So let's strap in and let's get this game started. Oh, little kitty. The Ermengarde Mansion. It was built for Lord William and Lady Elizabeth Ermengarde of Luxbourne, a humble ambassadors of peace and beloved by their people. Both were well known for their compassion and generosity, never failing to extend a helping hand to anyone in need. Under their influence and wealth, what was once a small, sleepy village grew to a prosperous and bustling town. However, the seasons of joy eventually ended when the good nobles perished at the hands of a great plague. Their riches and legacy were henceforth passed onto their only child, Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion has stood since the 1620s, a witness to a very long history of joy and pain. After Lady Charlotte unalived herself, the great house was eventually left uninhibited, or uninhabited rather. Appropriate thunder is appropriate. And that is when it began. Surrounding villagers spoke of seeing and hearing unearthly things, of cries and howls that filled the night, and hearsay of a mysterious woman roaming the hollowed halls aimlessly. People who dared enter its walls were simply never heard from again. Even after 400 years, these stories remain, much like the house itself. Whispers about the once great house, its legend and its curse, still fall upon the villagers' ears. In spite of this, the current owners are convinced that these stories are nothing more than a hoax. With little regard for the truth, they had Briar Realty Corporation place the property back on sale. And like Pandora's box, the secrets that lie inside await to be discovered by brave souls. No matter what happens, take care not to be consumed by the curse. Good luck. That's not ominous. Oh, Isabella. I guess we're gonna start off with her. Oh.
Hello? Isabella? Are you there? Where are you?
Okay, can you hold the phone, lady who's, like, insistent and all of that? Because we have a journal, and I would like to check that out real quick. So that's what we're going to do. So nothing for timeline, but we do have new profiles, so we can take a look at that. So we have Isabella. I'm the person that we're playing. We're just going to ignore this because that's just creepy, and I'm sure that there will be relevance for that later. Yeah, it looks like Isabella is the only tab that we are able to look into. So let's check it out. Maria Isabella Grace Cruz Santos. Birth date is May 28th. Gemini. She's a Gemini, and she's 26 years old. Height is 5'2". Holy shit, she is short. I mean, that's nothing to be ashamed of or anything like that, but damn. I have a friend who's 5'4", and she thinks she's really short. I'm pretty sure Isabella is gonna be way shorter. She is a real estate agent, apparently. Her nationality is Filipino. She is a Roman Catholic. She's also a fine arts undergraduate. Cool. She likes cinnamon rolls, dogs, food, police procedural dramas, and teleseries. Not sure what those are. Comedies and karaoke. She is the third child among 7. Holy shit! 7 kids? 7! My mom gave up after 2. And that was after her first try. So, props to Mama Santos. She's the third child among 7, daughter of a laundry woman and a jeepney driver. I'm not sure what a jeepney driver is. I guess maybe a delivery driver? She went to a public school and was an average student, but took to art easily. Eventually, she pursued a degree in fine arts, as encouraged by her father. However, when the man was diagnosed with a terminal illness, she had to stop studying to make money. Oh, that's sad. It was Isabella's aunt who helped her get work overseas in order to earn more money than any local job could get her. Rose Cooper became her mentor as soon as she started as an agent at BRC. I think the lady who was calling us was named Rose, so that's probably her mentor calling her. It's been 5 years since she met her neighbor, Rebecca. She met Ashton during an unfortunate incident involving her first sale at Devlin Court. And later, Zachary through him. Okay. I guess that's that. So basically she knows who Ashton, Rebecca, and Zachary is. I guess we'll meet everybody else later. Oh, and she's been put on hold for a while, so let's let Rose talk. A familiar jittery voice comes from the other end.
Oh, hey Rose! I'm at St. Goretti High. What's the matter?
What do you mean, what's the matter? It's the mansion, silly. I'm here and you're late.
Ooh.
Jeez, we're on shift together. You promised. Oh my god, please don't tell me you forgot. You were planning on leaving me to check this place out on my own, weren't you? You chickened out.
Calm down. You know I take my promises seriously.
I'd like to believe that. So hurry up and get here. This place is huge. A bit too quiet since no one's lived here since, forever, but beautiful nonetheless.
Why are you so surprised? This isn't the first time you've been there.
I know. I just wish I could live in a place like this. It really takes my breath away.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Not after the rumors that say it's haunted.
Jeez, never mind those rumors. Ghosts aren't real after all. And even if they are, which they are not, they can't do anything. They're nothing but spirits.
You don't know that. They might be listening or watching right now, and they might not be happy with you enough to curse you.
No offense, sweetie, but that's a bit of a stretch.
Believe it or not, it's better to be careful.
Right. You know, not every property we sell will end up with a dead body stuffed in a sofa.
Hopefully not any property you sell will end up with a dead body stuffed in a sofa.
And I think that mansion is where we'll likely find another one. I can feel it.
Hold up, she said another one. Wait, that wasn't just a random example? That legit happened? What the fuck is wrong with you two? You sold a house with a dead body in it? What the hell?
That was one time, Isabella. Loosen up.
No, that's not something you loosen up about. You sold a house with a dead body into it. I hope that you didn't know that there was a body in it when you sold it, or that it was discovered upon you doing discovery and all of that to check out the house and its history and all of that. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Wait, just get here ASAP, please. I'm getting bored being here on my own.
Fine. Let me just finish up here. I'll be right there soon.
Okay, see you. Bye.
She hangs up before I can respond. Rose, still charming as ever.
Who was that?
I look up from my phone to see Rebecca, or Becca, giving me a questioning look.
Oh, that? It's just Rose.
It's just Rose. She's just going on about being lonely at the haunted house that I'm trying to sell, apparently. And she's my co-conspirator, where we sold some poor sap a house with a body stuffed in a sofa. I mean, I've probably told you that story a few times.
The one who trained you? You're working together again?
Just for this property. We've been scoping out that big mansion down Anselm Village after the renovations. Today's sort of its grand opening to the public. The RC wants to give it one last check before we let potential buyers tour it this afternoon.
Yeah, just to ensure that there aren't any other dead bodies stuffed in sofas anywhere. I mean, just saying. And no, I'm never gonna let that go because you guys are fucking, like, I don't even know what the word is. Like, that's just fucking insane. Like, why? Why?
Hold on. Is this the same mansion you've been telling everyone about? Didn't you keep saying how it just gave you the creeps? You actually went there? And you're going back?
Well, I did promise Rose I wouldn't ditch her. And besides, a job is a job. Gotta do what you gotta do to make a living.
Yeah, apparently selling people homes with dead bodies in it. Yeah, that's just paying the bills. As soon as those words leave my mouth, Becca lets off a soft chuckle.
What's so funny?
Nothing. It's just that I didn't expect you to say that. Coming from you, it sounds so out of character. I mean, no offense, but you've been freaking out ever since you got assigned to it. I honestly thought you'd back out.
Not all the time. I could really use a huge amount of cash right now, and this is just the fastest way to get it. Plus, listen to this. Briar Realty wants it sold as soon as possible, and the agent who lands the deal is going to get a huge bonus.
Capitalism. Capitalism is at its finest here.
They never give bonuses like that. Getting that would make life so much easier. They're desperate, I'm desperate, it's perfect.
A sympathetic look crosses her face.
You know, if you're really in urgent need of money, you could have just asked me. Or Ashton. We can always let you borrow, and you can pay us back whenever.
I have to keep myself from groaning out loud. In the years I've known her, I can already tell what to expect once she has that expression.
Becca!
I've noticed that you've been living off instant noodles these past few weeks.
She crosses her arms and grimaces at the thought. Her voice slightly rises as she begins to scold me. Instantly, I'm reminded why Becca excels at teaching boisterous teenagers. Okay, so Becca is a teacher.
Stop eating junk! They're cheap, but they're not good for you. You'll definitely end up in the hospital if you keep at it.
Here we go. You're not my mom. You can't tell me what to do. Nah, I'm just gonna say I eat other things too. Cause, yeah. I don't think that would go over well.
Hey! I eat other things too.
Oh, an achievement, this or that. Let's take a look. Rebecca. I increased my friendship with Rebecca. Okay, so it's one of these games. You can, as you play the game, you can increase your friendship with these particular characters. Okay. So you can you can have them like absolutely love you or absolutely loathe you. And of course, Isabella is here at the top. And as we're Isabella, we can't really, we can't make ourselves feel any differently about ourselves, apparently. And we can't even click on the other characters, like I'm actually legit clicking on them. And I can't. So I guess I have to unlock other chapters or other characters. Rather, this is really interesting. This is a bigger game than I initially thought it was going to be. And again, it's only $22, guys. I fold my arms across my chest, mimicking her posture and giving her the best frown I can muster. The same one I'd used with my younger siblings when they were being difficult. Instead, she only raises an eyebrow at me. Apparently, I'm not very intimidating.
That's not going to work on me. And I saw it when you were cleaning your flat last week. The instant noodle cups outnumber everything else.
You're just exaggerating. Did you even see what's in my cupboard yet? I'm not just living on instant noodles alone. I've got canned beans, peas, tuna, ham, and even hamburgers in there.
Why do you have hamburgers in your cupboard? Shouldn't those be in the fridge? Becca's wrinkling her nose by the time I get to the end of the small list. She even went a little green on that last one. Yeah. I mean, if it's in your cupboard, I would go a little green too. I would have laughed a little at that, but if I didn't know, it would only lead to more reprimands from her.
Aren't those the same ones you won from the grocer's raffle more than a year ago?
Oh, ew! Isabella, why?
Oh, I sincerely hope you're checking the date stamps on those things before eating them. I don't want a repeat of last year.
Oh, so Isabella almost killed herself? By poisoning herself with expired food? Wow. Yeah, you need help, and I thought I had terrible eating habits.
In any case, those are still not exactly healthier choices, Belle.
She shakes her head, possibly laughing at some funny, distant memory. When she looks up, I immediately brace myself. More words from her. Sometimes it's just better to let Becca talk until she's out of things to say. But when she turns her attention back to me, there's only warmth in her smile.
What am I going to do with you?
Shake me? Throw me out a window? Put up with my bullshit? She says this more to herself than me, her voice shifting to something kinder, even motherly, if I'm looking for the exact word.
I hope you know that it's impossible not to worry about you when you're like this. You don't have to keep eating the same thing. Didn't I tell you before? You're always free to reheat my leftovers.
Yeah, but if Isabella's anything like me, she absolutely hates having to borrow from other people and depending on other people, and she'd rather just take care of herself.
Thanks, Becca. I really appreciate it, but you don't need to keep babying me. You've been taking care of me since after I moved here. You have to take a break sometime.
Yep, that's exactly who Isabella is.
And before you ask again, no. You know I'm not a fan of borrowing money.
Yep.
And I'm not going to ask you to give me what you earned hard for yourself.
You and your pride. But suit yourself. The offer stays on the table, though.
I nod in response, if only to get her to drop the topic. But I'm pretty certain I will never take that offer. Ever. It has nothing to do with pride. I've simply seen plenty of times how friendships can take a turn for the worse just because of a few unpaid debts. Yeah. Yeah. I can definitely see that. And no friendship is worth risking over money. I don't want something like that to happen between me and Becca. We may argue about a lot of small, petty things, but she already feels like a real sister to me. I don't want to lose that friendship over something so trivial. Becca's movements, when she takes a quick glance at something behind me, snaps me out of my thoughts.
Well, enough chit-chat. Lunch is ending, and my students will be back any minute. We can catch up later. Good luck with your clients. You better treat us to lunch or something if you get that sale.
You bet!
With a small smile, she returns to her desk and begins sifting through the pages of a rather thick history book. She's probably working on next week's lesson plan. Or trying to, at least. Her eyes are distant and she doesn't seem too attentive to whatever it is on the page. As if she heard my thoughts, Becca starts coughing heavily, her hand hastily going to her mouth to stifle the sounds. Oh boy, are you, sick, or is it just allergies, or, what? This is precisely why I followed her here. For someone who makes a habit out of worrying about other people, Becca sure forgets how to take care of herself. Okay, yeah, so she is sick.
Hey, you sure you can manage on your own? I mean, you're still a bit feverish.
Yep, she's been sick.
Hush, dear. Don't you worry about me.
No, if you're sick, you need to be in bed. What the fuck are you doing here?
I'll just drink some medicine and I'll be right as rain.
Nope, you need to go back to bed. If you're sick, you should not be here. Especially not when, being around, other people. I level her with a flat look. She has had a cold for a couple of days now. Something about the strange weather not agreeing with her lately. And despite my advice to take the week off and rest, I found her apartment empty when I dropped by this morning. She even left the medicine her doctor prescribed. Yep, no bueno. Go home, sleep. Look who's being stubborn now.
You shouldn't even be working right now.
Yep. Isabella's got it in spades. Becca, go home.
Seriously, you big baby. I'll be fine. For now, just go to work and stop making that Rose girl wait for you. I'll call you if I still feel bad, and you can come pick me up if it makes you feel any better.
Good. I mean, I guess that's gonna be the best that I can hope for, mind you. I would prefer it if you just went home. But, I mean, I guess. She offers me a reassuring smile, and I only sigh. Why do I even bother? There was no stopping her once she has decided on something. Defeated, I reach inside my bag to pull out the same bottle of medicine she left behind earlier. She looks at it warily when I place it in front of her. Unfortunately for her, this is the one thing I'm not letting her have her way.
All right, but don't forget what the doctor said. Drink this on time. I'll see you later, okay?
There's an amused gleam in her eyes when she shifts them back to me.
Look who's playing the mother hen now.
Oh, shut up and drink your medicine.
Rebecca!
Okay. I won't tease anymore. I'll make sure to drink it, Mom.
Before I can retort, she casts another look at the clock. I take that as a sign to finally end the conversation and end my short visit. With a small wave, I leave her alone to her classroom and her thoughts. Hailing a taxi to take me to the property as soon as I hail a passing taxi to take me to the property as soon as I leave the school grounds. The mansion is some ways out in the countryside, but I don't have trouble giving the driver directions. Apparently, everyone in Luxbourne City knows about it, including every bit of rumor surrounding the place. In fact, just the mention of its name is enough for the locals to give cautious sidelong glances. I learned that the hard way the first time I commuted there, and it only boosted my belief that there's something more to the house. Even the news of it being renovated and placed back on the market caused quite a stir. Thankfully, it died down a few weeks later. The place would have become a lot harder to sell otherwise. Yeah, no kidding. If everybody is thinking, "Oh my God, there's a ghost in there," I can't imagine wanting to live there. You'd have to expand your scope beyond the city, and even then, you would run the risk of those rumors reaching other people. I avert my eyes from the window once the buildings shrink in the distance. We get a glimpse of the countryside soon, although a quick glance at my watch tells me we're still a few minutes away from our destination. Might as well get some work done. Rose did ask me to review the mansion's documents. I already looked them over last night, but you never know when things may go wrong. Life has ways of messing things up like that. Kidding. Halfway through reading the papers, my phone rings again. I pick it up without looking, neatly tucking it between my ear and shoulder. It's probably just Rose again anyway. It's not Rose.
Rose?
Guess again.
That voice.
Ash.
Bingo.
Hey, what's up?
Just checking if you're still cool later this evening.
You mean that thing with Zach?
Yeah. He even called in the middle of the night just to remind me.
No, don't worry. I didn't forget. I'll be there.
Cool. I'll see you later. What time do you get off?
Around 6 p.m.? I don't know. It's the first day of the Ermengarde Mansion's open house, and we're expecting quite a number of potential buyers. I'll be booked the whole afternoon.
Maybe even the evening. I can imagine her having to stick around and, show guests around the place.
Ermengarde Mansion?
You know, the big Jacobean mansion at Anselm Village. I'm on my way there right now, actually.
On your own?
Yeah, well, Rose is already there, but yeah.
I see. Looks like the scaredy cat finally toughened up.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Shut up!
Ash chuckles, and I can't help but roll my eyes upon hearing it.
I'll see you later. Drop me a call when you're done. I'll see if I can pick you up.
I love this. Asshole. Beautiful. Chef kiss. Beautiful.
Whatever. Bye.
Stupid asshole. Always teasing me whenever he sees a chance. I'll show him who's tough. Journal has been updated. Before I finish reading that. Timeline. Before going to Ermengarde Mansion, Isabella Santos dropped by St. Goretti High School to check on Rebecca Gales. The former reminded the latter to take her flu medicine before leaving. On the way to the mansion, Isabella received a phone call from Ashton Frey, reminding her of Zachary Steele's movie premiere that night. Oh. So basically it just catches us up. Nice. It takes a few more minutes until I finally reach the infamous mansion. I have to admit, the entire property does look wonderful from the outside. Yet, despite all of this, it does nothing to hide that something's just wrong. The surrounding area is unusually silent, and only the rustling of the leaves can be heard as the occasional breeze passes. While Anselm Village is just a few miles away, everybody keeps their distance on purpose. Perhaps out of fear, the horror of falling under the mansion's curse. Somehow, it makes me feel sad. The lack of immediate human presence just makes this place all the more eerie than it has any right to be. If it's uncanny in broad daylight, I can't imagine how this place looks at night. Yeah, no, whether or not ghosts exist is irrelevant. This place, I think, would give me the fucking creeps after sundown.
Are you planning to go inside that place, Missy?
The voice nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Without completely taking my eyes away from the house, I give the driver a confused nod. A beat passes while I wait for him to say more, but his only answer is a non-committal hum. Belatedly, it occurs to me that he must have been waiting for my payment. I mentally slap myself for spacing out and promptly hand him the fare with an apologetic look. You better be hoping that you didn't just sit there spaced out while he had the meter running. I expected him to leave as soon as I paid, but there's a hesitant expression on him, as if something hasn't been said yet.
Is there something wrong?
Look, Missy, I'm sure you've heard what the people are telling everyone about that place.
Uh-huh.
Nobody likes to be disturbed when they're at peace, and I'm pretty sure whatever they say is in that house doesn't want to either.
Yeah.
I admit they did a good job fixing it up, but there must have been a reason why even distant relatives of the family who used to own the house never lived in there despite inheriting it.
Good points all around.
No wonder they wanted to get rid of it.
Maybe they just didn't like it?
You never know.
He drives off after, but what he said has left a foreboding feeling in my gut. I breathe out a heavy sigh as I approach the house. After hearing enough of the rumors, I should have expected the conversation to take that turn. But I'm already here. Backing out now is completely out of the question. It's not like I have a choice anyway. If I want to get that bonus and commission, one way or another, I've got to sell this property. The door is ajar when I get to it, however, while my own copy of the keys dangle uselessly in my hands. Rose must have left it open when she arrived. That's weird. I mean, on the one hand, nobody wants to go to this place. They keep their distance. So, on the one hand, with that in mind, you would expect that someone would come breaking in. On the other hand, it's a big fuck-off mansion where rich people could potentially live, and who knows what valuables they would be able to find inside. So, it's weird, but it's not, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We may be the only people here this early, but I've never known her as someone careless. Entering, what greets me inside leaves me gaping. It's a very nice interior. Very nice. That's really all I can say. They've cleaned every corner, waxed the floor, dusted the antiques, searched every nook, cranny, and crevice, and made it spick and span. All for the sake of making the mansion more enticing to the modern-day lords and ladies. But no matter how hard they try, the mansion still looks as soulless as ever. As though it's going to eat you alive. Well, I was gonna say, as long as though nobody had lived in here for years. But yeah, no, yours seems appropriate too. If you ask me, they should have just listened to what other people have been telling them and leave this place alone. Some things in this world are better left alone, never to be disturbed ever again.
Rose?
I call out.
Rose, I'm here. Where are you?
And of course you hear the nice ambient echo. That's actually a really nice touch. I like it. My voice echoes softly throughout the hallways. Oh, who am I kidding? In a place this big, I don't think she'll hear me no matter how deafening the silence is. She could be all the way on the other side of the property for all I know. Yep, better get to searching. Quickly, I reach for my phone and dial her number. Oh, that is actually a better idea. But
the number you have dialed has not been recognized. Please check and try again.
Excuse you? Okay, so I can understand if the number you have dialed is not in service. The number you have dialed has not been recognized. At this point, it'd be time to step outside and get a signal or something. But it's the way that this has been phrased, has not been recognized. That makes no sense to me. What do you mean has not been recognized? Apparently it makes no sense to Isabella either. We were just talking a while ago. It's not like she was eaten by the house, right? Or maybe the ghosts did hear us talking and spirited her away. Right? Right? No, Isabella, don't be ridiculous. She probably just wandered deeper into the house and lost a signal or something. I dialed her number again, hoping the call will connect this time.
The number you have dialed has not been recognized. Please check and try again.
But to no avail. Oh boy. I have a very bad feeling about this.
Rose? If you can hear me, please come out.
Yeah, please don't be playing these stupid games.
Come on, Rose. This isn't funny. You know this place gives me the creeps.
No answer. This isn't going to work. The place is big. She could be anywhere. Well, I guess we start looking. I need to start looking for her. I take a deep breath before venturing deeper into the mansion. Taking a couple of steps forward, I notice something move above the grand staircase.
What the hell? Rose? Rose, is that you?
Okay, so I'm not going upstairs. I will go through the side doors, and I will sweep the perimeter, and hopefully reach an area where I can, maybe get in contact with Rose. Or, better yet, find her. But yeah, no, I'm not climbing those stairs. No, fuck you. Fuck you, game.
Not funny. I'm leaving you if you don't come out. Not coming out, huh? Fine, I'm going.
Okay, bye. I would have already been out the house. Okay, that's a lie. She's my friend. I can't really leave until I know she's alright. Growing desperate, I try to contact her again. Come on, please give me something. Please, Lord? Yes! Finally!
Hello? Hello? Rose, I'm here at the mansion. Where the hell are you?
She doesn't respond. There's also some heavy static coming from her side. I sincerely hope it doesn't get cut off again before I can get an answer from her.
Rose, come on. Where are you?
A few moments pass until the static eventually starts to quiet down. Nope! Nope! Rose, if you're in the attic, that's fine. You can hang out there. I'm gone. Bye! Nope! Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. I am not going anywhere beyond the ground fucking floor. Fuck you. Fuck you, game. Fuck you, Rose. Fuck everybody. Bye! That cabbie was right. But, of course, I'm not in control, so. Shit.
What? The attic? Why?
Crap. It got cut off. Man. Do I really need to go there? With how deep inside the mansion the attic is, there's barely any signal there. No wonder I can't contact her. But why is she there? Out of all places, she just has to make me go fetch her in the creepiest room of this place. Is she doing this to get back at me for being late? Whatever. I'll just go. No, you fool! That's the last thing you do. The sooner I meet up with her, the sooner I'll feel better about being here. Nope. I guarantee you, you will not feel better. You will feel worse. I carefully make my way up to the stairs. I carefully make my way up the staircase. My legs wobble as I mentally curse the fact that I've chosen real estate instead of picking a career that doesn't involve strange abandoned houses. Upon reaching the top, the grand hallway greets me. It branches out to the two major wings of the mansion, the east and west wing. There are two attics here, one on each side. Oh, two attics. Wow, this place is big enough for two attics? Oh, good. Double the creepiness, huh? But the east one has been converted to a storage room of sorts. Somehow I find it least likely for Rose to wander there by herself. I would still check anyway. Besides, she never did like going to stuffy storage rooms. Don't care, I'd still check. So I head towards the west wing first, where a simple wooden door at the end of the hall opens to a small room. Inside is another set of stairs leading to the second attic. Unlike the grand staircase, though, the stairs to the attic are steep and narrow, made of old stones and covered with a thick coating of dust that kicks up into the air with every step. Okay, so you can't tell me that the people who cleaned this place neglected to clean this area. You can't tell me that, not with the amount of detail they took to cleaning the rest of this house. Nope. I call horseshit. Nope. That is nope. Just nope. Whoever did that needs to be fired, because that is not a complete job. Thank God it's still daytime. If it wasn't for the light streaming through the door behind me, I might easily stumble and fall. With how old the place is, there are no light fixtures to illuminate the cramped passage up. Why didn't they bother to add one here when they renovated? Why they didn't bother to add one here when they renovated escapes me. Sheesh. They did it with the rest of the house. There you go. There you go. This is just plain laziness. A small bedroom welcomes me at the end. It looks exactly as it did since the last time I'd been here. Full of dust, worn out, and faded by time. Also looks like there might be something in the bed, so, Rose isn't here. Let's leave. Odd. I thought they cleaned everything. That's exactly what I thought, but clearly not. Let's go downstairs and ream somebody over the phone. Did the crew miss this room? Ugh. Cleanliness is the least of my concerns right now. The more pressing matter is Rose. Yes, and clearly she is not here. So let's go! She's not here. Was I dreaming when I talked to her a while ago? Did I mishear her? Nah, no. It couldn't have been a dream. After all, the creepy ambience of this estate is doing such a remarkable job of making sure I stay alert and awake. Right, and once again, she's not here. Let's leave. And I'm sure she said she's here. Is this a prank? Or maybe the phone call was Rose's last message to me before the curse got to her. All the more reason to biggity bounce out of this place? Ugh, shut up, brain. You are not helping. Don't make this scarier than it already is. But if she's not here, then where is she? Okay, Down the stairs, out the door. Hey boss, I'm taking a month sabbatical. Fuck you. Leaving. What the hell was that? That's it. Can't do this anymore. I'm leaving. Thank you! We must have angered the spirits living here. I knew disturbing this mansion was a bad idea right from the very start. But nobody listened. Be fucking realistic, they said. They think I'm cuckoo because I believe in curses and ghosts and all of that. Me and my outlandish backwater country beliefs. I've always strived to be a model employee, but not this time. Nope. I'm turning back for the sake of my sanity. So why haven't you already? Briar Realty can find another agent who is more fucking realistic to tour people around this haunted house. Before leaving, I take one last look at the gloomy old room. Just to check.
Huh? What's this?
My worries about Rose's whereabouts must have caused me to miss it when I first entered the room. But there's clearly something on the floor. It looks like...
A letter?
lying on the ground, just a couple inches away from my feet. Out of sheer curiosity, I lean down and pick it up. Strange. I don't recall seeing this the last time I was here. A few days back, me and a few other agents inspected the mansion to prepare for today. I had been the last to look inside the attic and leave, and this certainly hadn't been here before. Someone must have left it in this room since then. Did Rose leave this for me? Was she here a while ago? I couldn't have missed her, could I? There's only one set of stairs leading to the attic. The letter isn't exactly in pristine condition. In fact, it looks rather ancient. The paper is so thin and rough, I'm worried it'll fall apart if I so much as touch it, and yet it's in her hand. But with great care, I open it, and what I read shakes me to my core. Nope! Okay, bye!
What?
Bye!
Oh my
Bye!
God.
Time to leave! Time to leave! Just drop the paper. Leave. Leave now. Nothing but the words help me fill the page. All of it seemingly written with crimson shaded pen. That's not a pen. That is not a pen. Get the fuck out. You're done. Or blood. I gulp. The same phrase just goes on and on until... Really? It's one of these fucking chain letters? Are you kidding me? I delete this shit. Same phrase just goes on and on until...
Send this to 5 people or else. Or else what?
That would be the question.
Or else what?
As quickly as I can, I scan the back of the paper and peek into the envelope to make sure I'm not missing out on a second page. But there's nothing.
No. Oh, please, no.
My hands tremble as dread creeps over me. The room is suddenly getting colder. I need to get out of here. Folding the paper in half, the sight that greets me next has me frozen to the spot. Oh! 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 No! Well, we're fucked. Well, GG. A pair of blood-soaked feet enter my field of vision, covered in gaping wounds, with skin eaten away to reveal flesh, bone, and all manner of things one isn't meant to see. It's too much. All of it is too much. I want to cry, call for help, but the words catch in my throat. Even my feet won't move, completely paralyzed out of terror. Lord, please help me. I think I'm gonna close my eyes and pray. Because it kind of feels like something that Isabella would do. I shut my eyes tight, muttering fervent prayers under my breath.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Prayers taught to me as a child by my mama and papa slip out endlessly through my teeth. Because God, oh God, if you have to listen to any of my prayers, please listen to this one. And if God doesn't listen, At least I won't see the thing that kills me. A cold comfort. I wait. And I wait some more. But when nothing happens, I dare to take a peek. Only to find that the ghost, the thing, whatever it was, gone. Relief washes over me as I shakily get to my feet and back away towards the door. Wrenching it open, I slip out without a second thought and make a run for it, down the stairs and onto the hallway. Can't believe that fucking worked. God damn it. I take a look back to make sure it isn't behind me. Any other person might have stopped, dismissed it as a trick of the light or an overactive imagination. But I am not taking any chances. I am not giving that thing another chance to catch me off guard. I don't think I'll ever feel safe until I get out of here. Agreed. Let's biggity bounce out the door. Whatever that is, every warning bell in my mind is telling me that it's going to jump out at any moment and get me while I'm still in this place.
I told them! I freaking told them! Oh man, oh man, oh man!
Racing down the steps, a breathy laugh escapes me and my shoe slips and I find myself falling. Whoop! Until my back hits the ground and pain racks my body. Oh great. Well, she wasn't wrong. My head grows fuzzy and my vision dims as I fight to stay conscious.
No. Go away.
Last thing I see are those feet before all I know is darkness. Journal. While looking for her missing co-agent, Isabella Santos found a mysterious letter in the Ermengarde Mansion attic. Driven to fear by what she read inside, thinking it's the place's curse at work, she hurried to leave the place, only to meet... Okay, guess it's not gonna continue with that. That's fine. A buzz breaks the silence. I start to rouse, holding to consciousness against my own will. I've never felt this tired before. I just wanted to sleep, but the insistent buzzing, poking, and prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not be the comfiest of places, but that doesn't make me any more eager to wake up.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away at what is nudging persistently at my side. Can't I just get a few extra minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. That sounds like me. A hand lightly taps my cheek, and something cold is suddenly pressed at the back of my head. The icy sensation slowly spreads throughout the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling. Oh, that sounds like Rose.
Isabella? Isabella? Yes, can you hear me? Isabella?
The fog immediately lifts from my mind the moment I recognize the voice, and my eyes snap open. There, looking down at me, is Rose, and apparently some other lady. Another woman loiters beside her, but my attention is too focused on my co-agent to even ask why there's someone else with her. Rose's posture just screams worry, although she's keeping a straight face, or trying to at least. Can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily, the feeling subsides after a few seconds, until only a mild throbbing somewhere at the back of my head remains. With a little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. She hands me an ice pack and gestures for me to press it where I suspect a small bump has already formed, if the light ache in the area indicates anything.
All right, Isabella, where are we?
The Ermengarde Mansion. Why?
Okay, so this is... She's testing her memory to see if there was any brain damage or if she has a concussion.
Ow, my head.
And the date today?
October 21st? Rose.
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
15, 14, 13, 12. No, that's wrong. Why are we doing this?
To make sure that you are not concussed?
She's just checked if your injury is in any way serious.
This time, I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her, what with the way she towers over us. And here I thought Rose is already tall. No, you're just short, Miss 5'2". Who is she anyway? One of the remaining cleaning crews? But with how primly dressed she is, I don't think anyone would want to clean in a suit, and an expensive one at that. The gloves alone must have already cost a fortune. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an almost unreadable expression, before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. Can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does so. She may be far from a cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like our supervisor during evaluation.
Just do it, please.
I eye them both warily, but recite everything as she had asked. Rose releases a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance. Are you all right?
Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. The memory is a little fuzzy, but the attic? And...
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crews.
Nope.
The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last minute...
Yeah, well, they fucked up.
No, not any of those. I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Both Rose and the lady look at me like I've just grown another head. Did I say something weird? Rose quickly casts an apologetic smile at the woman before the awkward silence stretches on further. It's her saleswoman smile. Same one she taught me back when I was still her trainee. I should show this to troublesome clients, or just to avoid trouble in general, she advised. It's also the same one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Her eyes are serious when she turns back at me. She takes both of my shoulders, gently squeezes it, and with as much patience as she can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you. You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call.
Welp.
Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really all right? What happened?
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry. I remember I was looking for you, but you weren't in the attic. And there's... whoever it is. Then I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down. Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open.
Yeah, you did.
We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose.
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
What, next you're gonna tell me that the door was absolutely locked? Wait, hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important sale because of a minor bump in the head. An extremely minor bump. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house, alone. And in a mansion this big?
Well, there's also the part where I may lose that bonus BRC promised. That's completely besides the point. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I return the cold compress to her and push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase's railings to steady myself, but otherwise I feel fine.
See? I'm A-okay.
The two of them exchange a worried glance, and Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation. If she says no...
All right, you in.
Yay! Except, why are we happy that we get to stay in the creepy house? A smile threatens to slip out from me.
If I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
You shouldn't downplay these kinds of things. It could be a serious injury for all we know.
She is not wrong. Suddenly, a small cough sounds against the wall of the foyer, interrupting our banter. The woman is looking expectantly at the two of us, her stare making me shrink back a little on myself. She isn't really intimidating. Well, okay, she is. But not in a scary, negative way. Far from it, actually. Her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. In a different world, a younger me would have probably wished to be like her. At our lack of response, she coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my throat at the sight of it, and Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my blunders.
My sincerest apologies, Mrs.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
She hands Rose her business card. Marianne McCulloch, interior designer. The words interior designer catch my eyes before my partner flips it over. Oh, probably someone interested in the mansion for its 17th century influences then. I won't hold that against her, though. Despite the heresies and the remaining uninhabited for years, the mansion's original fittings and furniture have been kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find that trip to the past feeling appealing? After all, with what it offers, this place could also be a haven for people looking to live somewhere with a classic historical charm.
Miss McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough. In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please...
Thanks. There's no need for it, though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place. I thought I should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
What part of open house did you not understand? Rose's confusion is impossible to miss when she glances at me, and I return it with an equally perplexed look. And, against my better judgment, I blurt out the first question that comes to mind.
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. Flash of irritation crosses her face, but it instantly disappears under a mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright? She hired me to handle the interior design for their new home.
Yeah.
This is the Ermengarde Mansion, right?
It is, but nobody's bought it. Who the fuck is Hannah?
It is, but...
She pauses, possibly trying to find the right words to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. Suddenly, Rose nudges me with her elbow. Those few moments have given me enough time to clear my head of any nervousness or confusion clouding it. Check the supervisor instead of just saying I don't know.
It is, ma'am, but we weren't aware the mansion has already been sold.
What do you mean?
I almost flinch when she turns her gaze on me, but I stand my ground. Besides, it isn't like I haven't dealt with awkward situations like this before. Okay, let me check the relationship and see what happens. Oh! Marianne's on this list, and it seems that I got a big bump from her, so she liked that answer. Cool. I just picked it out of, like, reflex, because I think saying... I work in retail, and we've always been trained, never say I don't know. Always say, I'll check, or I'll find the answer. So I guess that came in handy. Sweet. I almost flinch when she turns her gaze on me, but I stand my ground. Besides, it isn't like I haven't dealt with awkward situations like this before. I may screw up at times, That doesn't mean I haven't learned a thing or two in the 5 years I've worked in the business.
The mansion is indeed for sale, ma'am. Today's the open house, in fact.
There you go.
However, we haven't heard anything from the higher-ups that a deal has already been closed for this particular property.
There you go.
If you'd like, my co-agent and me can check with them right now.
She nods, seemingly in deep thought after I finished. She also appears to be a reasonable person anyway. Given the proper explanation, she'd surely understand.
I thought something looked odd. Excuse me, I need to call my secretary.
Thank you for your assistance, Miss Santos.
With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. I also don't miss the thumbs up she gives me for doing a good job, and I can't help but swell with pride. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number of her Luxbourne office and check even if she didn't ask for it. I will be very frustrated if, for some reason, something has already been decided without mine or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss McCullough returns, looking a little frustrated, but with an apology clear on her face. I feel a little sorry for her having to go through all of this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
Exactly. Get the story from them and why this bitch is claiming this house as her own.
Certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive. And, Isabella, I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those. Can you please get it for me?
Yeah, sure. Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing me a set of keys.
And hurry! We've still got a few minutes to double-check those papers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it.
The two of them disappear behind the parlor's door. Their departure brings with it a stillness to keep me company, neither welcoming nor comforting. Alone, like this, it's impossible not to think of what really happened. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, there's a next. Rose Cooper, along with a woman who introduces herself as Marianne McCullough, found Isabella Santos lying unconscious in the mansion's foyer before the open house's start. Unable to recall what happened prior, Isabella insisted on working despite her co-agent's worries about her well-being. Okay. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. Then again, Rose already said she didn't receive any calls from me. Was it just paranoia? A temporary lapse after having heard all those tales about this place? Probably. I want to think of it as such. Better to think of it as such, so I can work in peace. Except a small part of my mind begs to differ. And if I'm going to be completely honest, I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I don't know what's in this house, and I don't want to know. The keys Rose have just handed me dig into my palm, its jagged edges creating shallow ridges on my skin from how hard I'm clutching it. It's a reminder of what I still need to do and why I've taken this job in the first place. Hugging my blazer closer to my body, I leave the house to get what Rose has asked of me. Just a few more hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money. Holy fucking shit. I didn't imagine that, did I? Did I? Okay. A flock of people have already gathered in the mansion's front yard by the time we officially open the doors. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled or underdressed, standing in their presence. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in fancy suits and lovely dresses of varying colors, compose the medium-sized crowd. Their necks, arms, and fingers are adorned with silvers and golds, glinting in the afternoon sun. Some even have ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their heads. I really hope there aren't any magpies living nearby and all this, like in the stories. Those birds will have a field day in this. They are murmuring amongst themselves, looking at the estate's facade appraisingly, with some arguing about whose mansion has the superior architecture. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased at being ordered around, but what can they do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Isn't the ground floor the first floor? Or do I not know what I'm talking about? Pretty sure the ground floor is the first floor. Hearing this, a few wander to me. They are mostly old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those stairs. Miss McCullough also joins our group. But what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches.
It's so nice to finally meet you! When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get you!
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
Oh, you know each other?
Not at all, ma'am.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Somehow I doubt that.
Oh, yes, I think I did.
Ah, they must be the clients she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere before. Some magazine? Or the television? I can't quite remember. Then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on the news one way or another. I won't be surprised if these two already have. For people who are popular, though, they aren't dressed as loudly as the others, and in their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman in particular is stunning enough to turn the heads of most people in my group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind, though. And if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I'd say he's basking in the attention. Both of them, in fact. I'd think they were brother and sister if it weren't for their public displays of affection. The matching rings on their fingers just cement the fact that they are indeed a couple. My only sunshine. It's an interesting inscription. Whatever. Couple or not, what's important is we get this deal closed before the current owners can even think of canceling the listing. I just hope one of the people in my or Rose's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. When they aren't whispering amongst themselves or going ooh and ah over one thing or another, they ask questions. From how the restoration process went to the history of the place, and I answer them all. More than happy to talk about the art pieces and architecture mostly. However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Not good material for sales talk, even if the entire population of Luxbourne knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty.
Even the glass thing. Colorful ones. Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope.
Nope. There are probably plenty of glass things in this place, lady. Unless you're talking about the chandelier. That's really the only thing that I can think of.
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancé of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
By the time I've stopped talking, her attention is already elsewhere. Wow, flighty, this one.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
Who the fuck are you? Who the ever-loving fuck are you? Like, this place is huge. What do you mean it might be too small? Like, what?
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
It is splendid, ma'am. But isn't it a little too early to make plans when no deal has been signed yet?
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything.
Wow, she's acting like she's already bought the place. Also, journal. Today marked the open house of the infamous Ermengarde Mansion. Open to the public for the first time in years, Luxbourne's most esteemed and prominent personalities gathered to catch a glimpse of the 17th century property, including Luxbourne's most well-known couple, Luke and Hannah Wright. Okay, so that's who they are. Well, that answers that.
Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
Wow, yeah, no, she is acting like she owns the place already. Like, money has not changed hands, little lady. The rest of their conversation gets lost in the chatter of our companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to give me some semblance of hope. Oh, please, please, please let these guys be the one. Eventually, our group reaches the kitchen. Oh, that's a nice looking kitchen. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put in retaining the room's classical appeal. You can't say much like the rest of the house because we know that the attic looks like a piece of shit, right? The open hearth at the end of the room in particular looks amazing. Like the ones I've only seen in fairy tale books. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Seriously. After overhearing hundreds of their complaints about the soot and tar staining the bricks and how much of a pain in the arse cleaning this'll be, they still managed to pull this off. Or make it look presentable, at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
Oh, don't say anything yet. An underground wine cellar.
Oh, wow, he's got interest now. This is the first time the guy in gray speaks up. Mr. Luke Wright, my memory supplies from the forms they signed earlier. His sudden attentiveness catches me off guard. Since the start of the tour, only his wife has shown any form of genuine interest in the place. But this time, something lights up in his eyes at the mention of the undercroft. What's so interesting about a basement? I really don't understand rich people sometimes. Right now, he just gives me the impression of a child who has seen what he absolutely wants for Christmas. I've always found it cute whenever I see children act that way. My younger siblings especially. On a grown man, though, it's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
Wow! Holy shit! Let me guess, you're gonna poo-poo the amount too, aren't you?
Truly. And the room, how was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar have been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room. It's a good place to keep your private collection in if you have one, sir.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard? Perhaps you could start one here.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
Oh my god, that again. And this isn't big enough?
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde Mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it. We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
There's a contemplative expression on Mr. Wright's face, but he doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems really pleased that he has started to show interest, even if only a little. I smile to myself. I may not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I sure as hell know how to spot a buyer with sincere interest. Score. I can't wait to tell Rose. The rest of the tour goes by without a hitch. After more than half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room in the ground floor and are heading to the parlor. Funny, first time BRC had us survey the property, I kept complaining to Rose how big it was. Now I can't even bring myself to care, no matter how much my feet hurt. Maybe this is just my excitement over a possible sale? When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. Oh, there's whispering. I can't make out what they're saying, but they're saying something. Starts off as small goosebumps on my skin, a feeling of being watched intently. Whispers in my ear, and shadows dancing, lurking in the corner of my vision. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look. A chill settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break out in a cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting a break anyway. If I can just...
Excuse me? Everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we've prepared. If anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
I let them sit while I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out of my lips in a silent prayer, until a hand taps my shoulder.
Hello, you there?
Oh, hi.
Yes, ma'am?
Oh, look at you. Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be exhausting.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm just doing my job.
Exactly. What is it you want?
What a hard worker. Anyway, Isabel, right?
Isabella, but okay.
Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right?
Please, just Hannah. Call me Hannah.
Okay, hi, Hannah.
I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
Excuse you? Money has not changed hands. Like, you don't get to move in just because you want to. Money changes hands. You need to jump through the same hoops as everyone else. Calm down. My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plaguing me is suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. Is this a joke? She looks at me expectantly as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see, but we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am.
There you go.
We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion.
Right. You haven't seen the rest of it. How do you know for sure that you're gonna like this place?
A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further and puts a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with her tight smile, she looks as if she's tasted a particularly sour lemon. Ooh, not used to being told no, are you?
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem.
Didn't say it was, but there's still hoops you need to jump through, so that you don't unwind the deal.
And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who'll probably just fill it up with cats.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with cats. Fuck off.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, ma'am Hannah. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
Exactly. Perhaps I'm still not feeling well, but really, what's wrong with cats? Nothing is wrong with cats. If this lady says anything otherwise, she will find my foot in her face. More importantly, why is she talking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person.
I mean, to each their own, I suppose. Cats still are superior, though.
But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary soon.
So you're gonna buy him a house? Wow. I wish someone would buy me a house.
And it would be so wonderful if you can secure its purchase for us. Why, I can even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork.
We actually have a process for this, ma'am.
Yep, there you go.
I don't really think that would be necessary or appropriate.
Yeah, no bribing.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
I try not to wince when her nails dig into my shoulder. I can't help but send an imploring look at Miss McCullough, who only gives me an apologetic smile and shrug.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers from my hands and shuffles through that bunch. Oh man, Rose is gonna be so angry at me for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel.
Isabella?
Isabella.
Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel.
Okay, now you're just fucking doing it on purpose.
It's Isabella.
Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors too, and... What's this?
A look of confusion. Oh, shit. A look of confusion and disgust appears on her face. Turning to her husband, he merely shrugs in reply.
That's, an interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with, what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month. You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been appalled. But I'm sure you'll know what to do with our walls once we get started.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, Mom. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your tastes. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course.
Oh, yep.
It has to always work with a palette.
Oh, boy. Yep. Isabella, that's your clue.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
Yeah, it's usually email. It's my turn to be puzzled. What do they mean? Rose and I double-checked everything. Are the papers I handled not enough? I want to ask what I did wrong. I don't want to mess this up. But with the way Ma'am Hannah is leading the conversation, I'm afraid that's exactly what will happen if I do interrupt her.
That's good to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Buttercup.
A smile is back on her face when she turns to me and hands me a strange piece of paper.
I would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong impression. Anyway, as I was saying...
I don't hear the rest of what she says after that. I can only stare down at the paper, at the letter in my hands. The sides crinkle in my grip and my breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills my mind.
Isabella? Isabella? Are you all right? You're looking pale.
I didn't even notice when Rose's group joined us in the parlor. I want nothing more than to say that, no, I'm not all right. I want to leave this place. Because I remember everything as clear as day. This letter and those blood-soaked limbs in the attic. It's real.
The letter. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Careless. I've been so careless. How do I even tell them that without looking like I've gone mad? Should I even tell them? No. No. Just don't talk about it. Especially not here. Especially not surrounded by these people.
Rose,
Oh, Marianne went up too. Went way up. Okay. So I'm just winning all the points with Marianne. She's almost... Actually, she's just maybe a smidge behind Rebecca. Wow, okay. The words are stuck in my throat. I want to tell her, I really do. But is she going to believe me? She already dismissed me earlier. It's a concussion, she said. It's not. There really is something in this house, in that act, in that letter. It's going to go after us. Please, believe me.
Dear me, is Isabella all right?
Isabella! Ma'am Hannah's voice breaks through the haze, beginning to cloud my mind. Rose is looking down on me, worry etched on her features. I didn't even notice when she removed the wrinkled paper from my hands and pushed me down to sit in a nearby chair. From the edge of my vision, I can also make out Miss McCullough asking a passing food server for a glass of wine or water. Through it all, Mr. Right Hand stands in the sidelines. Although curious, he appears more inclined to watch the scene than help. They are all as likely to believe me as Rose does. To everyone else, whatever's in this house is just a hoax. A cautionary tale for children.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
Nope. She offers me a drink, but I push it away. I need to get out of here before I can cause an even bigger commotion. Clear my head, take a breath of fresh air. Anything to take my mind off things. No one is going to believe me anyway.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me. I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
Bowing my head, I mutter a quick apology and gather my stuff to make a quick exit. Doesn't matter if this place is haunted or not. I've caused trouble. And Rose can be quite unforgiving of behavior like this. I'm almost at the door when she catches up to me.
Isabella, wait!
The apprehension must have been quite obvious on my face, because her expression instantly shifts to something gentler. Eyes softer, a fond smile spreading on her lips.
Hey, I'm not angry.
I know. I'm sorry I ruined this for you.
Come on, you didn't ruin anything. It's not like we haven't ran into any problems before. If we don't get a deal today, we can always try on a different day.
It is very true.
And look.
She hesitates, completely trailing off before shifting her gaze down to her hands. A small gesture to stall. Her fingers are fiddling with a piece of folded paper. It's that stupid letter again. My hands stiffen when she gives it back, but I take it nevertheless, more as an automatic response than any desire to have it back. I'll throw it away if I can. But I have this nagging feeling that, one way or another, it'll find its way back to me regardless of what I do about it.
Rose, this is... You have to let them know about...
I know you want us to get this sale so badly. And we've made a lot of plans on how to go about this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who wouldn't? This is the first time I've been assigned to a property like this. I've sold plenty of houses before, but nothing like what we have here. It's a beautiful house. I'd love to get one of my own if I ever win the lottery. But I think... Look, here's the thing, Isabella.
Mm-hmm.
If we are going to do this, work on something, I don't know, this big, I need you in top shape. And the way you are now...
Oh, wow. My mind stops.
What? Wait. No, I can still work. I just need to get myself together.
That's what you said earlier. I let it go because I thought, hey, it's your own body and you should know more than anyone how you feel. But after this, I really think you should take a break.
I mean, I'm with Rose. She's not going to be able to focus on the rest.
You're kicking me out?
No, I'm not. Look, all I'm asking is for you to take a seat somewhere I can see you, and let me handle this for now. You're clearly not yourself, and I honestly could use some time not worrying when you'll fall over or not. The day's not even over, and I'm already feeling the stress.
Yeah, my being here isn't helping.
Please, humor me just this once.
She clasps her hands together in front of her, eyes pleading for understanding. And I do understand. To some extent. That doesn't mean I'll feel any less awful. Whether at myself, at the unlucky turn a situation has taken, or for her, I don't really know.
I promise I'll give you a full report of what happens after. I'll even let you take the lead tomorrow.
Fine. Okay. I'll step aside for now.
You're upset.
Yeah, she is, but she'll get over it.
A little, yeah, obviously.
If it's any consolation, I won't tell the boss about today. You know how he is.
Yeah, he sounds like a right tool. Especially if you think back to the body in the sofa bit.
Please don't. I don't want a repeat of the lecture I got during my first assignment. He called me a noob, and I don't even know what that means.
Oh, you poor sweet summer child. At the memory, we both burst into helpless giggles, earning us strange looks from the guests milling about the door. Talking and laughing like this, it's easy to forget any mishaps that happened. Little things you learn to appreciate, I guess.
So, are we good?
I'm still not okay with it, but Rose has a point. It's better for me to step out of this one for now.
I won't be able to help you anyways if I keep getting distracted like this.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll just take a walk outside or something while I wait for you to wrap things up.
Please, just stay put. I insist.
I'm not an invalid, Rose.
You clearly have not seen how you looked earlier.
I mean, well, I haven't been able to see a mirror.
It's not that bad.
Color hasn't even returned to your cheeks yet. Just stay here, all right? Don't even think of going anywhere. Let me finish what I'm doing here, and then I'll take you back to Luxbourne myself to have that minor bump checked. At least wait for me to call someone who'll fetch you, okay?
She's gone before I can voice one word of complaint. With nothing else to do, I find myself drifting back to the foyer. Few visitors linger in the area, some merely enjoying the afternoon sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows. Others can be seen admiring the priceless antiques decorating the room. One group of elderlies, gathered some ways across from me, are occupied in a friendly banter about which one would cost more to buy. A little argument here, an occasional laughter and teasing there. I smile to myself. The conversation reminds me of what I've been missing these past few months. Rose is probably right. I do need a break. Maybe this afternoon's hangout will help. Speaking of, I should call Ash. It's a few hours early from what I've told him, but he did ask for a call once I'm done. Besides, I don't have a ride back. He offered, so I might as well take it. Or bribe him into giving me one. Not that he'll ever accept the latter, personal convictions and all. Honestly, if there's something I find admirable in him, despite his tendency to annoy the hell out of me, it's that. Well, whatever way works. A free ride is still a free ride. There's Rose's offer too, but despite what she says, I know she'll be busy for the rest of the afternoon, especially without me assisting. Bothering her for a favor as small as this is the last thing I want to do right now. A couple of minutes and a few prayers asking for a decent signal later, the call finally connects and...
Shit! Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Bad guys watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble?
What?
Better not lie. I'm a cool dude. Pretty fly for an Asian guy.
Wow, that's terrible.
Shit, how loud is this thing even?
Watch out, can't beat
The
me.
sharp ringing fills the air, the entire hall, disrupting the pleasant quiet that has settled. Soon enough, heads begin to turn in search of the source, mine included. My eyes dart around the small crowd before zeroing in on a lone figure crouching behind the same group of old people checking out the decor moments ago. He's facing away from me, fumbling with something in his hands. Aha! But I don't need to see his face to know whose back it is. Oh, I'd recognize that dumb parka anywhere. Without bothering to end the call, I marched towards him. After what happened today, I'm really not in the mood to deal with this.
Of all the times to...
Ashton Frey!
What happens next is something I'll surely regret later for having not recorded.
Ah!
She jumps, lets out an undignified yelp, followed by his phone slipping out from his grasp. It bounces from one hand to the other in his poor attempt to catch it before ultimately falling flat on the floor with a resounding clank. I kind of feel sorry for the phone. And the floor. But it's not every day that you can catch someone like Ash off guard and get a reaction. Damn his stupid detective senses. Oh, so he is a detective. Interesting. I'll take every ounce of victory I can, no matter how small. Ha! An awkward pause passes between us. A blink. A cough. He makes a face. And then, in too quick motion, he ducks and retrieves his abused gadget, while a grin threatens to break out from my lips. He doesn't meet my eyes when he straightens, but a flush has crept up his neck and his cheeks. In another universe, where we haven't known each other for 5 years and suffered through his teasing is a day-to-day occurrence, chances are I'd find that adorable. Endearing, even. Unfortunately, this isn't that kind of world. The way things are, I'm already content to see him out of his obnoxiously calm and collected disposition.
Hello to you too, scaredy cat. I could stand to be greeted like a normal person, you know.
Yeah, well, maybe you should turn off your ringtone when you come into a place like this.
What? And miss that look on your face? No way. Oh man, I should have taken a picture.
Right?
I am so honored you find this funny. Is that how you treat your guests? I think I need to talk to your supervisor.
Can't, she's busy. Fuck off. I love that he's still named Ashhole here.
Talk to yourself. You aren't even a guest here. What are you doing here in the first place?
For a moment, he looks like a cat that swallowed a canary. Suddenly, checking every nook and cranny in his phone for any damage or scratches seems to be the most interesting activity, over-explaining himself.
Ash.
I could be looking to buy a house.
Really?
A mansion?
Yeah, why not? Did you see the view outside? It doesn't look haunted to me at all.
Wow, okay. Wait till you see the attaché upstairs. He's messing with me.
Ashton, I am not in the mood. What are you doing here?
Chances a glimpse at some point behind me. The parlor? Curious, I follow his gaze. But before I can figure out what has caught his attention, he places a hand on my shoulder and turns me back to face him.
I just finished working on something, so I dropped by.
Ah, interesting. Still don't see how his work has anything to do with why he's here. At my confused look, he drops the hand resting on my arm, like he's touched something particularly hot, and casually rubs the back of his neck. Aw, he likes her. He likes her.
And I said I'll see if I can pick you up. Turns out I can. Free time and all.
You're like 3 hours early, dude.
So here I am. Figured you'd still be busy, and so I roamed around for a while.
Oh, you should have mentioned that sooner. I was about to throw you out.
Throw me? Hey, I was given a pamphlet. I think that makes me a legitimate client.
Yeah, maybe.
We have mandatory sign-in sheets for clients, Ash. I didn't see your name on it. And you can't just roam around because it says open house. Normal people actually follow an etiquette here.
I'm pretty sure that is the definition of an open house, Isabella. Where you can roam the place just to basically get a feel for it and figure out whether or not you like it.
Right, okay. I think I'll just go ahead and...
No, wait. I wasn't really going to throw you out. Rose said... Never mind. I was just about to leave anyway.
Wait, what? Now?
Something must have shown in my face because he pauses and gives me a long, hard stare. Sometimes I forget how easy reading people is for Ash, given how he often looks as if everything around him is a chore. I avoid his eyes, hoping he'll drop the subject and won't ask any more questions. The last thing I want is to tell him what happened, especially the part about the letter. In fact, he's the very last person on Earth I'll ever think about telling it to, if I can help it. Sure, he is a dependable guy. God knows how many times he's helped me out, even without me asking for it. But stuff like ghosts and the supernatural? He'll never believe those, even if he hears it from a friend. Well, maybe. Except maybe if it's Becca. On a good day, the most harmless thing he'll do is give you an explanation for why those things have no chance of ever being real. At worst, he is insufferable. He'll poke fun at you at every single chance he'll get. Ashhole. What did I ever do to him? He never does that to Becca or Zach, 'cause he likes you. I mean, it definitely plays up the stereotype of if a boy bugs you, that means that he likes you. But yeah, it definitely feels like he likes her. I can already imagine how things will go down the moment I spill a word of what I saw. Nope, over my dead body. Before it catches his attention, I shove the letter deep into my bag.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Let's just go.
Doesn't look like a nothing to me.
Look, I fell down the stairs and hit my head. Is that what you want to hear?
We still have Zach's movie tonight, remember?
It's still early. And didn't you say your shift will end around 5 or 6? What about... Hey, Isabella, wait up!
I'm apparently leaving without him. A rush of air greets me as soon as the main doors open. Not the usual autumn draft, but it's still a welcome change from the stifling atmosphere inside the mansion. Ash's footsteps are quick behind me, the soles of his shoes thumping hard against the polished concrete in an awkward cadence as he rushes to catch up. He calls out once, twice. The mansion still looms in the background. Whispers calling me back. Shadows beckoning. Oh. Okay, so apparently that's what the voices were saying in the parlor. I don't look back. We spend the ride back to Luxbourne City in a relatively quiet manner, with only the radio's disjointed hum in the background to fill the silence. Occasionally, Ash will reach out to fiddle with it until the signal settles or it's on a respectable volume, but otherwise he doesn't say anything. Neither do I. However, if the furtive glances he's been sending my way are signals, I know there are things he's been itching to ask since we left the mansion. I keep my eyes strained on the passing scenery outside, in the small hope that my disinterest will dissuade him.
Here.
All of a sudden, he tosses something at me from a small compartment on his side. It hits me cleanly on the chin before I can make a move to catch it. The small package makes a soft landing on my lap instead.
Sorry.
The glare I send him wipes the smirk about to form cleanly off his face. He clears his throat, focuses his eyes on the road once again. I swear he did that on purpose. Ignoring him, I flip the half-forgotten package on my lap.
I won't say no to free food, but why are you giving away cereal bars?
Good question.
I always have one on my person, and you look like you're about to pass out back there.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Have you eaten lunch yet?
I don't even have a chance to deny it, because right on cue, my stomach rumbles loudly and an empty, gnawing feeling in my belly becomes noticeable. No surprise there, I did skip breakfast and lunch so I can catch Becca while she was on break. I was hoping to get a small meal after. I guess with everything going on, I just forgot until Ash mentioned it. It's not like the hollow feeling's new to me, though. If anything, it's just one of the things I've gotten used to ignoring over the years, growing up. Oh, that does not sound very good. A thanks, then I tear open the package and start nibbling on the edge of the bar. Apparent from an acknowledging nod, Ash doesn't say anything after that small exchange. For that, I'm grateful. After getting an earful from both Becca and Rose, it's nice to be able to just sit down with someone who's not going to nag at you.
How'd the open house go?
The usual. We got a bigger crowd than normal because of the property's fame, but really, no different from the typical open house. On second thought, it actually looks like a fancy party more than an open house. I've never felt so underdressed in my life.
Yeah.
Weren't you there?
I wasn't really listening.
I should have asked someone to kick you out.
No, you won't.
And what makes you so sure?
One, ever since you got assigned to this property, you've been freaking out about it. Rebecca's words, not mine. She's been complaining to me about how you talked your ears off, by the way. Two, despite your initial qualms about the place, you still took the job.
Money.
Which brings us to 3. It's been months since you last settled a deal, and you're short on money right now since you're back to your instant noodle diet.
How do you even know about the last one?
Rebecca.
Yep. Did you really need to ask?
Anyhow, you're hellbent on selling the mansion. Even if someone you know personally is in the tour group, you aren't going to just kick them out. Every single person who went on your open house is still a prospective client to you. Even me.
He's not entirely wrong. Aw, man. I walked right into that one, didn't I?
I hate you. I really hate you right now.
His answer is a small laugh. The kind that screams, I'm right, I told you so. I hate it when he does that.
I'll have you know that there's already someone who's extremely interested in this property. So even if you expressed any sort of interest in it, I don't think they'd be willing to let you have it. Too bad.
Provided I didn't botch it with the rights. Why of all times did I have to screw up like that? In front of an important customer, no less. I owe Rose a big apology. I hope she likes free donuts.
You don't seem too happy about it.
I am happy. Doesn't this look like a happy face to you?
Nope. No, it doesn't. And actually, going back to the so-called blunder with the rights, sorry. The chain letter, the letter that had like the chain, she had to like give it to like 5 people. So now does this mean 5 people have to see it, read it, or she has to give it physically to 5 people? Because if it's the former, then 3 other people have already read it. No, 4 if you count Rose. And if they have to physically hold it, so that's 2. That would be Hannah and Rose. So either way, it sounds like Isabella has spread the curse around, if the curse is actually taking effect, which, come on, given the game, I would have to say yes, it has given effect.
Really? And here I was thinking you found another one stuffed in the sofa.
Ow!
Or is it the wardrobe this time?
Oh, fuck off. He meant that as a joke. But how close is it to the truth? But how close it was to the truth made my blood run cold and my own heart beat a heavy weight in my chest. All at once, the letter in my bag feels a whole lot heavier, burdened by my own guilt and apprehension.
Yeah, well, things happened. Stuff the right couple might not be pleased about. No need to make a fuss about it. It's normal in the business.
You made them angry?
Not angry, just stuff happened.
Like?
Things.
Did they do anything? Your clients, the rights, was it?
I can't answer that. At least, not without revealing everything that took place in the attic. I'm not gonna lie to him. We'll just change the subject, because honestly, like, it sounds like something she wouldn't want him to... She wouldn't... like, this is definitely something she doesn't want to talk about, and she doesn't strike me as somebody who wants to lie to him, especially given their banter, so... And he'll probably suss it out. He's a detective, so...
You keep asking me about my work, yet you haven't said a single word about yours.
Let's see how that did. Oh, it went up! So that was clearly the right answer.
That's not fair. Both you and Zach have literally disappeared off the face of the earth.
An over-exaggeration, but changing the subject to something else is still better than outright lying to him. Besides, it never works with him. I'm not sure if it's because I'm just bad at it or because he's just really very good at his job. He doesn't answer immediately, only momentarily shifting a glance over me and returning it back to the road when he has to make a sharp turn. Outside, the sun has already started its descent, casting a vibrant orange glow on the tall buildings. I wonder how long before we reach the venue for Zach's film. Checking the street signs outside, it appears Ash is taking the longer route. Odd, but he's probably trying to avoid the rush hour traffic. No, I think he's just trying to spend more time with you.
Didn't we just talk a week ago over chat?
That's different. Linking your awful memes in the group chat box every morning isn't exactly a conversation.
She is not wrong.
Excuse me, I don't hear you calling them awful while you're laughing at all of them.
I mean, they can be funny and awful at the same time.
Shut up! And you aren't answering my question.
That earns him a soft punch to the arm. I did laugh at them, but I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of knowing that I find most of them funny. It'll only make his head bigger. Stupid Ash.
All right. Lay off on the abuse. Remember that case I mentioned before? We've been trying to pin the bastard down, but it required more work than we anticipated. The guy's slippery like that. We got some good lead months ago.
He recounts what he's been doing in the time we haven't seen each other. His usual work, the occasional small investigation, and the big case he's been stuck working on. Stuff he couldn't mention in the brief time we catch each other online. Although most of it are the trimmed down version. Only things he can tell. He's always been very careful about that. Even in the way he spins his answers to my questions. Just enough to satisfy my curiosity, but not enough to paint the whole picture. At one point, his voice takes on a strained note when he mentions something about the big case, but I don't dwell on it much. That's normal, right? I mean, Who wouldn't be frustrated if you couldn't bring someone to justice because they kept slipping through your fingers? If I were in his shoes, I'd definitely lose my mind. His stories never cease to be entertaining regardless. If things weren't the way they were back home, maybe I would have considered taking on the same job as him. Well, nah, not really. Mama would never allow that. But the idea is still there, along with countless others I've let go. Time passes quickly between us in this manner, and before I know it, we're already in the movie house. A small crowd has already formed in front of the theater when we arrive. The Lift Fest, short for Luxbourne Independent Film and Theater Festival, attracts a bigger crowd annually, and this year is no different. Pocket Chibi coming soon. Point of No Return. One thing that I can't really see. Fat Cat soon, I guess is what it's called. Point of No Return. Batcat coming soon, and yeah, okay. I've only been to a few indie film screenings with Zach, so I'm no expert on the matter. But I do know that for people hoping to make a break in the industry, getting your film recognized by a local event like this is already a big deal. Especially for a newcomer like Zach. He hasn't even won an award, but just getting a confirmation letter that the festival committee wants to include his movie in this year's lineup already puts a grin on his face for weeks. Speaking of the guy, he's impossible to miss. At 6 feet, he appears to loom over most of the moviegoers. And with his large build and heavy voice, there's no surprise when people give him a wide berth as they pass by. It's often easy to mistake him for someone intimidating at first glance. I did, back when I didn't know any better. Ash did too, I heard, once early in their friendship.
Oh, there's Zach!
Hi, Zach!
Hey, you guys! Long time no see!
Zach's face lights up with a smile of his own. He moves towards us with careful steps, taking a significant effort to make himself smaller so as not to bump or accidentally hit anyone. Typical Zach. As he nears, Ash casually raises his hand in greeting and...
Sup, Z-Man, my main man. What's crack-a-lackin', my homie?
Oh my god, you did not. You did not just... Like... You should be fucking ashamed of yourself, dude. The awkwardness that descends within the immediate vicinity of our small group is palpable enough. Somewhere to the left, a girl giggles, and only then do I become aware of my mouth hanging open. I'm almost amazed how Ash can say that out loud with a straight face. Almost. Considering his track record, Ash should be used to it by now. Zach seems to be.
Yo, stop trying to act black, Ashton. And you're the only one who calls me Z-Man.
There's fondness underneath his exasperated tone, though. If this were any other person, he'd likely be offended. But years of friendship and familiarity have made those words harmless to the other's ears. Or at least enough for both of them to take them in stride.
It's been a while, Zach.
I hope you didn't get into trouble again.
Oh, he got
Not much to get into trouble lately without you, I'm afraid. I'll let you know if something comes up, though.
Nah, I ended up with chicken down stuck on me last time I agreed. I'd really love at least this year to pass without some sort of accident happening again.
Yeah, it might be my fault, so...
Hey, I take offense to that. It wasn't that bad.
You really have no idea.
A beat passes. And then, Zach laughs.
Hey, I'm kidding! You know you can always count on me.
A story only the two of them are privy to. Every now and then, Ash will enlist Zach's help on something. Becca and I never really found out what the real deal is with those adventures, as Ash calls it, and neither are willing to tell due to some unspoken agreement. She insists that if it's Ash, it's likely not something illegal or life-threatening. I tend to believe her on that. Sometimes. Ah, well, boys will be boys, I guess. I hate that phrase, I really do. It's got such a bad connotation nowadays. I give Zach a small wave from behind Ash when his attention eventually turns to me.
Isabella! Huh? Rebecca's now with you. Is she still sick?
A bit. But she's up and went to work this morning. You know she doesn't listen to anyone that's not Ash.
Right?
Yes, she does.
Really?
No, she doesn't. You're literally the only person she'll listen to when she's feeling stubborn.
And it's true. They've known each other far longer than any of us in the group. Childhood friends and all.
But don't worry, Zach. She's probably on her way here now. She promised she wouldn't miss your movie.
Isabella! Oh, thank goodness!
Speaking of the devil. Without warning, a hand grabs me by the shoulder and turns me around.
Becca! You're just in time!
I have to lean back a little with the way her face is almost invading my personal space. But she places her hand on either side of my head to keep me still. She stares at me intently, concern filling her eyes.
Becca, you're squishing my face.
How are you? Are you alright?
Why wouldn't I be?
Rose called me earlier.
Fuck. Well, so much for that. Those 4 words tell me all I need to know. Since I don't have my family living close by and the only other relative I have here works on the far side of the country, I gave my company Becca's contact number just in case. I should have known Rose would call her. I pushed Becca's hands away from my face. Although she lets go, her eyebrows remain drawn together.
Oh, no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today.
That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Beside me, Ash snickers. I bite back the urge to elbow him in place to try and avoid Becca's hand as she tries to reach out for the set area. I do my best to dodge her, all at once moving to hide behind Zach. Sorry for using you as a human shield, Zach.
Oh, it's nothing. I just slipped off a few steps on my way down. I blacked out for a few seconds and had a minor bump, but it's just that.
You blacked out? It's not something to brush off. Come on, at least let me check it.
It's extremely minor. You wouldn't even know it's there.
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
She did look pale when I saw her.
Oh, thanks, Ash. Appreciate it.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this. Just you wait.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
Something crosses Bella's face, but it's gone before I can figure out what it is. Oh shit. She likes Ash. Fuck. Great. I've stepped into this. Stepped into one of these. Lech.
Oh, that's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good.
Bleh. Fuck. Well, I guess we're doing this trope.
See? I'm okay. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. And I don't want to miss Zach's film.
We can always watch it some other time.
Yeah, but if this is such a huge deal, we don't know how long it's going to be allowed to be filmed here. I mean, granted, we could have like our own private screening and all of that, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem the same.
Sorry, Zachary.
No, it's good. But you guys should really keep it down. We're starting to attract some attention.
It's the premiere. The premiere's different. Right, Zach?
I shoot him a pleading look. Zach's a sensible guy. He'll understand. Please understand.
Not really. But Rebecca has a point.
Okay.
In the end, I think it's your call.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
Please, Becca. I really don't want to miss it.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, your health is more important, and you did just have a harrowing day.
You're not missing it. We're just moving it on a different day so we can have a...
Look, you guys.
Ash's loud sigh unexpectedly cuts through the conversation. He's pinching the bridge of his nose as he speaks, something he usually does when he's getting impatient.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either. Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
I mean, yeah, I suppose that's also true.
Why are you taking her side?
Oh, fuck.
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself.
I mean, that does seem like a nice, a good compromise.
Is that good enough for you?
I already know the answer before Becca voices it out. When at last she releases a deep breath and nods, albeit with great reluctance, I immediately tackle her into a hug.
Thanks, Becca.
It's always been you with him, isn't it?
Did you say something?
Yes, she did. Something rather shoddy. And not at all nice.
Me? Nothing. Don't mind me.
If you say so.
Okay, guys, showtime's close, so I think I'm gonna get us some snacks. My treat. And then let's head inside. Anyone here has a smaller bill?
I think I do. Hold on.
I pull myself off from Becca to get my wallet from my bag and...
What's this?
Oh, fuck. He found the letter. It's already in Ash's hands before I can even react. Behind him, Becca and Zach are both giving the piece of paper an intrigued look.
No! Give it back!
It's just a paper.
I don't care! Give it!
You don't... If she says give it back, you just give it back. That's it. That's all.
Looks ancient, too. Why do you keep this around?
I found it. I'm going to get rid of it. Calm the fuck down. I try to reach for it, but he holds the paper way above my head. Oh, that's just mean. I've never been particularly sensitive about my own height, but right now I really wish I had that advantage over him.
Don't open it!
What's the big deal? It's not like it's a love letter. I don't see any reason to... Hold on a second. This is, isn't it?
It's not. It's my property. Give it back.
Even if it is, it's not for you.
Okay. Now I'm curious.
Fuck. Why did you have to say it like that, Isabella?
I'm telling you it's nothing like that. It's...
The rest of my words are lost when he unfolds the paper. Oh, and Ash is the one holding it. Shit. I can't breathe. My heart feels stuck in my throat, pounding, threatening to burst out. Vaguely, I note how my hands are trembling at my sides. Clasping them together doesn't do any good. They're still shaking, but I hang on to them regardless. The awful sick weight that has taken its core in my stomach back at the open house returns full force. How do I fix this? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? Someone, please. Today is turning out to be a horrible nightmare.
Send this to 5 people or else. Well, that's interesting.
Guys, I think we should listen to Bella first.
Aren't you a few days early for Halloween?
Ash waves the paper in front of me, giving me a fleeting glimpse of its contents. I don't need to see. I don't want to see. The letters, the words, every stroke written in blood is already embedded in my mind. Maybe I should have just thrown it away when I had the chance. That way.
It's not a prank.
It makes all of them stop. Even I'm surprised at how steady my voice is.
What did you say?
This isn't a prank! I saw something!
Hold on. Are we still talking about this paper? Or is it about the urban legend again?
Both. I know it sounds ridiculous.
You're saying this is a primitive version of a chain letter, and now that we've seen it, we're now cursed. You've got to be kidding me.
Well, there we go.
See? This is why I didn't want to tell you guys.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
You think I'm joking?
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up.
There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit is true.
Okay, so he's on the day where he's just gonna tell me why it's not true.
But it's real! What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
I saw it before I fell down the stairs.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
Without another word, I snatched the letter out of Ash's hand and stuffed it back in my bag with more force than necessary. I'm tired. I got cursed, saw a ghost, probably lost a sale, got kicked out of the open house I'm supposed to be hosting, my own friends won't believe me, and all of them think I'm crazy. To top it all off, there's a dull ache at the back of my head, begging for a little attention I can't afford to give it right now. Honestly, there's only so much a person can take within a single day. I just want to go home, curl up in my bed, and never think about today. But before I can take a single step away from the group...
Guys!
Zach rarely ever raises his voice, even when there's a point he wants to drive home. And hearing him take on that tone completely throws me off guard. Even Ash and Becca. Whatever harsh words yet to come from the argument immediately die on our tongues.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together? We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
He has a point. Ash, for all his attempts to look cool and distant, has also been looking forward to this. He even took the time to call this morning for a reminder. He never does that. Becca, too. I'm pretty sure that's another reason why she got out of bed today. Yet, despite Zach's attempts to lighten things up, or Ash and Becca's acquiescent gestures, the tightness in my chest remains. I should have just kept it to myself, or at least went with the idea that it's a prank. If I did, things might not have turned out the way they had. No sour mood, no bad vibes. Careless, so careless. Maybe leaving's the better decision for all of us. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way. I mean, sorry guys, but I'm just gonna be a killjoy, so... I know I'm being selfish, but if I stay, I'll only get in the way. And let me guess, everybody's upset with me. Yep, Zach. Oh, Rebecca's happy. Ashton's gone back down. Zach has gone well down. Shit. Oh well, I guess I'm gonna have to deal with that. I know I'm being selfish, but if I stay, I'll only get in the way. I can't look Zach in the eye when my excuses come tumbling out of my mouth.
I'm sorry. Today's not a good day for a movie night out. I think I'll pass. Enjoy, you guys.
Isabella, wait!
I leave without another word. One step after another, as fast as my own 2 feet can take me away from them. Becca calls me again. Zach and Ash do too. But their voices become lost in the hustle and bustle of the afternoon crowd. It's strange. To walk home like this, to bump shoulders with people you don't know. I felt the same way years ago. Fresh off a boat in a foreign land, with no one else to depend on. I won't deny that I was nervous. Now, well, it's not every day that you get into an argument with your friends. Not every day that they won't believe you even when you're telling the truth. It feels like a betrayal of sorts. Leaves you hollow. And in this spaceless city, it's impossible not to feel alone after. The sun has set by the time I reach the comfort of my own room. On my phone, there are 4 messages waiting to be read. Let's see what it says here, actually. Today marks... read all that. Luxbourne Independent Film and Theater Festival celebrated its 9th year discovering new creative talent in the films industry. Included in a few showcased this year was Zachary Steele's Bleu Jeans, Dark Times of the Black British. Isabella Santos, Ashton Frey, and Rebecca Gales were also seen amongst the crowd for its premiere. Guess that's it. 3 from Zach, and a lone voicemail from Ash. Becca will probably drop by later to check on me, to say the same thing these messages likely contain. Yet I can't bring myself to open or listen to any of them. much less look forward to anyone's visit. So without taking another glance at it, I slide my phone back into my bag and flop down on my bed, allowing the heavy feeling in my chest to finally pull me into an uneasy sleep. Perhaps tomorrow would be better. The darkness closes around me, grasping, pulling, engulfing me. The ground caves in, and without warning, I'm falling. My eyes snap open. For an instant, it doesn't immediately register where I am. Both my back and shoulders ache after I've fallen asleep, all hunched up the night before. I didn't mention it before, but her room is a fucking mess. Like, jeez. I mean, I'm in no way better, but at least I don't have fucking underwear hanging out. Jeez. Drenched in sweat, the nest of pillows I often keep around me feels more suffocating than comforting. I let my eyes adjust to the bright morning light streaming through my window and allow my breathing to slow down before untangling myself from the pile. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxbourne, or at least none that I can recall. It's a shame, because they used to be so vivid. Not the crazy vivid, but the more pleasant kind I'll tell my siblings about. Maybe it's just the stress of living alone. The knowledge that I'll always wake up in an empty apartment with no one to tell stories to.
What time is it?
Habit forces me to look over at the clock, even when the soreness weighs heavily on my shoulders and the compulsion to never leave my bed for the day. I'm late, aren't I? In a heartbeat, I'm up. Yep.
Oh man, of all the times to oversleep. Towel? Where's my towel?
Admittedly, it's a weekend. As an unspoken rule, that entitles me to extra hours of sleep. But if Rose didn't kill me yesterday, she sure as hell will now. And right after what happened. Oh Lord, 1 box of donuts as peace offering won't be enough the second time around. Grabbing my towel, I'm already a few short steps away from the bathroom when a muffled ringing breaks out from my bag. There's a moment of indecision at first, my mind conflicted whether I should just ignore or answer it. But what if it's Rose? Or worse, our boss? Ah, sheesh. In the end, the rational part of my brain wins out. The letter from yesterday peeks out when I pull the device out. Just the sight of it is enough to put me in a foul mood, and it takes every force of will for me to ignore it in favor of answering the call. The caller ID reads Mama.
Huh?
It's around 4:45 p.m. in the Philippines right now.
That's an unusual time for them to call.
Holy shit, is something wrong? Usually it's around noontime here, and I'm the one calling, not the other way around. Better for them to use that money on something else than an international call. Regardless, the most cheerful tone I can gather.
Hello?
Hello? Grace? How are you?
Mama! I'm doing okay. How are you guys over there?
We're good. EJ won a storytelling contest at school the other week. Brought home a medal. I thought you should know.
Aww. There's a tired lilt to her voice as she speaks. It's been there since Papa had to leave his job. I wish there's something I could do for her. But for miles away like this, the least I'm able to do is not make her worry. If only my older brother would actually lend a hand. Lord knows if that'll ever happen. Odds are Kuya Jordan's already out drinking right now. Again, I can't count on my older sister either, knowing she has a family of her own. And, well, Ate Ann's financial situation isn't exactly great right now, having run herself knee-deep in debt.
Great! That's great! Tell him congratulations from me. And let him know I'm gonna send him a little something extra this Christmas. How about Nico? Karen? Michael? I hope they're okay?
They're doing well. They wanted to talk to you, but they're all busy with school.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep doing their best for me. I'll just call back when I know they're not busy. And Papa? How's Papa doing?
Hopefully better. It's a subject I'm a bit hesitant to broach. From the way Mama's voice hitches, she doesn't want to bring it up either.
Papa. Grace, he's having a little difficulty right now. Weak appetite, he's having trouble swallowing, and lost a few pounds.
Oh boy.
But the doctor said we should keep encouraging him. It just means his body's accepting his new treatment well. The money you sent last time helped a lot to pay for it, by the way.
Oh, I see. That's good.
I won't deny that life has gotten tougher for our family. It used to be easy back when Papa was in good shape. But ever since he was diagnosed with a sickness 5 years ago, he'd been unable to provide for us. Now the burden of feeding 8 mouths and settling Papa's bills all rests on my shoulders. Although Mama makes a little, accepting sewing and laundry jobs in our neighborhood, it's scarcely enough to cover the costs of day-to-day living, let alone the bloated hospital bills. I see. So the bulk of her money actually goes home to take care of Dad. That explains the ramen diet. We can't even expect help from our own government because the health insurance there barely covers anything.
I'm sure he'll get better soon. Is he well enough to talk? Do you think I'll be able to speak to him, Ma?
Silence. I start to think that the call got cut off until...
Listen, Grace. Maybe it's better if we transfer Papa to a different hospital. Somewhere cheaper?
What? Why? Did something happen? Is it the deposit issue again? Give me the hospital's number. I'll talk to them.
No, it's nothing bad. The service here is good. Too good. Even the doctors. But I'm worried you're working yourself to the ground because of it.
I mean, she probably is.
Mama, we've been through this before. I want the best for Papa. And don't worry about the bills or the medicine, or me for that matter. I can handle myself. Everything's going well here. In fact, we're about to close a large sale.
Hopefully. If not, then I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know that. Sorry, Mama. You taught me not to lie, yet look at what I'm doing.
I'll have money to send over soon to cover the rest of Papa's treatment. And there's more than enough for Karen, Nico, Michael, and EJ's school tuition, too.
Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But I just wish you'd come home to us soon.
Ah. Kailan ka ui. When are you coming home? EJ, the youngest, used to be the only person asking me that. How do you respond to a question you don't have a definitive answer for? 5 years later, and I still haven't given them a straight one. I smile, though Mama can't see it. I fight to keep my lips from quivering, my voice from shaking. She's got enough on her plate as it is. No need to weigh her down with unnecessary concerns.
Promise me you'll be there to welcome me when I do, okay?
Of course. I'm sorry, Grace. I need to take this for a while.
There's a small commotion on the other end. The sound of gates opening, the sound of a child, EJ, talking excitedly about his day at school, the tapping of feet on the floorboards as he runs. It's been years since I went home, but I can still picture the whole scene in my mind. How tall is he now? Are the neighborhood kids bullying him now that I'm not around? Did Mama rearrange the furniture in the living room again? What are they having for dinner today? I miss them. I miss them so much.
It's okay, Ma. I need to go too. I've got work today. I'll call again soon, alright?
On a Saturday? Oh, never mind. Take care of yourself, dear. I love you.
I love you. Bye.
It ends with a soft click, leaving half-truths and empty promises hanging in the air. Oh, journal. Okay, I guess I skipped one, but that's fine, I guess. Isabella received an unexpected call from her family back in the Philippines. In an emotional moment, her mother informed her of her father's deteriorating condition despite treatments. Nonetheless, the young woman assured her and continued to work hard to be able to support all of them. Closing my eyes for a moment, I take a deep breath and shake away the thoughts beginning to swim inside my head. It's pointless to mull over these things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Unfortunately, before I can take a single step away from my phone, it rings again. No doubt Mama forgot to say something.
Mama? Did you forget anything?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping? Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
The office, not the house?
Office? What about the open house? Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble? Oh god, oh god, oh god! I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do I do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if...
No, it's nothing like that. Will you calm down? Get yourself here, alright? I'll tell you everything then.
There's the telltale din of several feet shuffling against a wooden flooring and an indistinct yelling in the background before Rose cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting. But it's enough reason for me to hastily discard my phone and finish my shower in record time. I make it to our office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment, completely disheveled and out of breath. A feat if I take into account my usual travel time. Routine clamor common to Briar Realty Corporation's Luxbourne office greets me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Papers rustling, telephones ringing in sporadic intervals, agents talking at varying volumes, staff moving about, and...
Where the hell is C? Where are my employees? What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice!
Well, shit. My boss's words turned muffled as someone else closes the door to his office, likely the work of our HR manager. Also, nice call out to the company that developed and produced this game. Yang Yang Mobile. Nice. Throughout the past weeks, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees who have failed to report to work. I hear they're still trying to get a hold of them, but to no avail. The result is half their workload have been shifted to all available staff so as not to lose clients. Not that I mind the extra work. If anything, it means I'll have more to send to my family back home. Although the rumors of a branch closure circulating because of this is indeed a bit of worrisome. My bag barely touches the top of my table when Rose pulls me aside.
Here, I need you to help me with these papers. If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of paperwork in my hands without explanation. A page flutters away from the top of the pile, and I lean down to pick it up, my eyes scanning the top of the page as I straighten. A purchase and sale agreement. Wow, okay. So I guess the rights are buying after all? Rose simply gestures her thumb in the direction of our visitor lounge when I tilt my head in question. There, seated on the sofa and looking completely out of place in the humbly decorated room, is the same couple from the day before. The rights. Something bubbles up in my throat. Their presence in the office can only mean one thing.
They're buying it? We got a deal?
She swats my hand, tugging her sleeve, although her eyes are alight with something akin to joy. She wants this sale to happen as much as I do. And now that it's here, the deal needs to be closed yet. Documents still need to be signed. But the elation is there, along with a foreboding feeling I can't quite pinpoint.
I had to do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house. I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madam Wright. She didn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
Wow.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
She means that the Wrights are planning on buying regardless, and they don't care how much they have to spend. So they're not even haggling. They're literally just saying, we'll take it.
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible. I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Even with that urban legend?
Rose nods.
Oh, I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
Don't they have better things to spend money on? I'd haggle down to the lowest possible price if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it. Not that my opinion matters one bit here. We're just their agents who are going to retrieve the hefty commission after all. Nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, signaling that she's heading back to them, and an unspoken instruction for me to follow after I'm done. Doesn't take me long to finish what work she left me. In fact, having our boss sign the agreement is the easiest, since it put him in a better mood to the entire office's relief. Ma'am Hannah calls me over the moment she notices my presence at the lounge door. She welcomes me with a bright smile, her movements more open than what one would typically expect from a passing client to have.
Oh, Isabel! How are you feeling? You looked awfully dreadful yesterday.
It's Isabella, and I feel better, thank you.
Isabella, I'm fine now, ma'am. I appreciate your concern.
I really don't understand why they can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. It's an instead of L. Regardless, I hand them the copy of the agreement.
Wonderful. Your team works unbelievably fast.
Ma'am Hannah skims through each of them with a scrutinizing eye, checking every page for any inconsistencies and errors. Despite the unassuming expression she gives off, she appears fully aware of what to look for and the process contracts like these undergoes. So she's smarter than what she tries to give off. It is surprising, to be quite honest. I haven't pegged her for someone who is well versed in these things, yet here she is. She shows some of it to her husband, and he responds with the same passive interest as if he's more than happy to leave everything to her. Can't tell if it's purely because he believes she's capable enough, or doesn't care about what they're buying, or simply finds paperwork tedious. Apparently satisfied with what she's seen, Ma'am Hannah claps her hands together before extending it to us for a shake. Rose and I release the breath we've been holding, both of us more than happy to return the gesture.
That settles it then?
Are you really sure about this property, ma'am?
No, shut up!
We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings. Something with a modern touch?
Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glance that clearly says, do not make a scene, we're almost there.
Of course, why wouldn't I be? The house is absolutely perfect, isn't it, darling?
A helipad would still be a nice addition.
Of course, Mr. Whiny Pants.
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately. Shame she didn't have it.
Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope. We still have a housewarming party to plan after all. You know how much thought should be put into those things.
There are servants for that, darling.
Love, wouldn't it be better if we handled it ourselves? A personal touch of sorts. It is our housewarming party and our new home.
No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us.
Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Oh, and before we forget...
She discreetly folds something into both our hands and winks, a finger raised to her lips, demanding our silence.
I know both of you worked hard on this beautiful mansion. Did I mention we reward our people generously?
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
Don't you worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us. Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
She smiles sweetly like this is simply the most normal thing to do in the world.
Oh, before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible. She's dying to work on the house. You can do that, yes? Here's her contact.
Certainly, ma'am. We'll have it processed as soon as possible.
I knew I could count on you, lovelies. I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Just like that. Transaction over and done with. My mind's still reeling even after they've left. Other agents would kill to have clients like them. A part of me feels lucky about the fact. No lengthy negotiations, no sudden change of minds, just talk, signatures, and a few handshakes here and there, and we're done. The other part? A second ago, we sold a haunted property to 2 innocent clients. Sure, the commission's big. Big enough to continue funding Papa's treatments and hospitalization, big enough to pay for all 4 of my younger siblings' schooling. Heck, it'll keep me away from instant noodle diet for months. I don't have to go back to the mansion as well once the deal's been closed, much to my sanity's relief. But knowing that something's in there, and we gave it to the good couple despite that? Oh, Isabella, the things you do to sell a house and get money. Papa would not be happy with that. At least I have good news to tell him next time I call. The little lie I told Mama this morning isn't a lie anymore.
Well, they're something.
Yeah, they certainly are something.
So how does it feel?
How does what feel?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly. I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
Memorable is an understatement, Rose.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too, aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised.
That's true.
What are you going to do with it?
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before we ended your training.
She slings an arm over my shoulder and leans in closer to my ear, as though she's about to share a big secret.
It's okay to celebrate from time to time.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself. Throw a party and treat your friends to free food. Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you? Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Practically, that's the problem.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation, by the way, in case you really are planning to throw one. A few drinks would be nice too, thank you very much.
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real estate.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that. Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone at her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in the span of a few seconds.
Today? Not a problem, ma'am. I could bring you a copy of the contract if...
Must be another client. Nothing surprising here. She's one of BRC's top agents, no matter how modest she appears. Saleswoman through and through. I, on the other hand, have a very little knack for it. Of course, I learned eventually. I had to. But someone else will, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, though, in a drunken stupor, Rose told me a story of what could have been. Years ago, wide-eyed, young, and brimming with yet-to-be-fulfilled dreams and ambitions, she was a term or two away from a nursing degree. Aww! Out of courtesy, I never pressed on the matter further. But perhaps it's where the sense of fondness started. A small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives. Of goals we both let pass us by because of the circumstances we're in.
I'd be happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there. Thank you.
New client?
Reassigned.
Oh.
Have you heard from Mark and all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion. Why? No news from the HR yet?
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away. I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Who knows? Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
She throws a wave over her shoulder as she rushes out of the office. The lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the chatter of fellow agents also heading out for a much-needed break. Ordinarily, there's no need for me to go out. But oversleeping didn't allow me the luxury of packing my own lunch today. If one considers taking an instant noodle cup from my pantry, packing your lunch. Time to make good on a promise I made to Becca, I suppose. Maybe invite Zach and Ash too? In the end, only Becca and Zach could come. Ash, on the other hand, couldn't be reached. All of my calls went straight to his voicemail. He's at it again. Right here today, gone tomorrow. Oh well, his loss. We have agreed to meet at a nearby cafe, the same one I frequent with Becca because it's cheap and they give away free bread around closing time. Quaint and a little old-fashioned, though looks a wee bit out of place amidst the city's tall buildings, but we love it all the same. Much like its facade, the interior carries an antiquated charm to it. Vintage art pieces and a row of shelves boasting an extensive collection of book covers the wall. It would have been nice to hang out here for hours on end, but even on a weekend, the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Becca and Zach have already found seats and are engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. Strange seeing the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Sure, they talk when they meet, laugh at the same things when there's something funny, but there's distance. The kind born purely out of differing interests. That or Zach's simply afraid of Becca. It's not impossible, and I wouldn't blame him if he was. He might be the tallest in our group, but everyone knows that it means nothing against Becca's temper. Even I'm a little scared of her.
Zach! Becca!
Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I thought for sure you're going to snub us for the better part of the week.
Oh, fuck you, bitch.
You know I can't stay angry at you guys. I was upset. I still am. But, well, something did happen this morning. Let's order food first, okay?
A waitress comes by to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving of their special vegetarian stovies. Zach takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausages, or potatoes in it. But today's a good day. Great, even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person jotting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes it, nevertheless, and leaves without comment. Becca furrows her eyebrows, her mouth halfway open, ready to let loose what's likely a string of reprimands.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
The glare she sends my way reminds me of the one I received from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 years ago. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. But Becca's far from being my mom. A small sheepish grin is enough to turn that frown into a defeated sigh. Food arrives in the middle of a funny story from Zach, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we each served each other. It isn't anything fancy. Pan-roasted sea bass, with citrus-dressed asparagus and a portion of mashed potatoes on the side. Or at least that's what the daily special board says it is. I never did pay any attention to it whenever I came here, since the price, whatever's written, way above what I'm willing to spend on food on a single day.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
You're always hungry.
Hey, not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Because I slept in.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella. What's this about?
Let us say, Rebecca. She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Yeah, be chill like Zach. Come on.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An expectant grin breaks out on my face. Except...
I'm sorry, say that again.
And this is important because...
Becca only raised an eyebrow at me, while Zach appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made, and is desperately searching for someone to explain it. Ah, bummer. Well, how should I phrase it?
Okay, let me do that again.
Okay, let's see. Up! Zach went up, and same with Rebecca. So, cool.
Guess what, guys? I'm paying! I sold the house!
As the news sinks in, their expressions go from sheer bewilderment to utter surprise. That's more like it.
You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. As of today, I'm Maria Isabella Grace Cruz Santos and free from my instant noodle binge.
Seriously?
Hold it, Belle. You sold the house?
Yep.
Which house is this? In Anslem Village? The one with the open house yesterday?
The one and only. Come on, Becca. I know you've got a better memory than that.
Oh, wow. That's...
She lets out a hum. Although she's nodding, she gives the impression of someone who's heard something unbelievable and is still forcing her brain to absorb it. Did she think we wouldn't be able to sell it? Have some faith in me, Becca. Am I not your best friend or what?
You don't believe me?
The words tumble out of my mouth before I can stop them. I've been trying to avoid bringing up yesterday's little spat, and judging from the looks on their faces, seems they are too. Me and my stupid mouth.
I'm sure it ain't the way you're thinking, Bella.
No, I do believe you. But don't you think the sale happened a bit too fast? The open house only started yesterday, and now you already have a buyer?
Yeah, well, when we have a rich couple who shows up inviting their interior designer who they hired before even buying the house, you could say that there was already interest there.
It happens from time to time?
Yeah, but look, I'm happy for you. Just yesterday, you've been really worried where to get money for your dad's new treatment. And now, all of a sudden, you have something. What if the sale doesn't push through, or I don't know, they're a fraud, or they suddenly back out? Isn't it a little too early to celebrate?
I mean, I was thinking the same thing, I'll be honest with you.
Rebecca does have a point, Bella. If you haven't closed the deal yet, there's still a chance they'll go back on it.
They don't seem like it to me. The lady appeared to really want it, and she approached me without even finishing the tour.
Pressured me into it, more like. But I'm not going to tell Becca about that. Knowing her, she'd only worry.
And she already hired someone to handle the house's interior design.
You're joking. Who would do that?
The Wrights?
The Wrights, apparently. It's actually pretty funny. She's a bit too excited to get the property, she forgot to buy it. At any rate, they've already signed the agreement today, so it's just a matter of time. And don't tell anyone about this, but Ma'am Hannah also gave us something extra.
Something as in...
As in, it's why I can treat you two to a free meal.
I'm more surprised you accepted it.
Nah, didn't really have a choice.
She didn't really give us a choice in the matter. So don't lose sleep over this, okay? The couple really want the house. If Rose didn't stop them, they'd likely have paid up front for it yesterday. That's despite the legends, too. I even tried to show them the letter. But nope. I want this house, darling. Go take all our money.
You don't really think they'd believe that, do you? I'm pretty sure for them, those are just rumors as well. No one is that superstitious in this day and age, Belle.
Bella is.
Well, there's you.
Right. You know what? I'll just eat all of these by myself.
I begin to gather their plates to my side, the food in each, still untouched. A laugh almost escapes my mouth with the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
I'm kidding! Don't go all pouty on me again.
I don't think she was kidding.
I'm just concerned you'll get hurt if this doesn't happen. I know how badly you want to close this deal for your papa.
I'm sure he's gonna be fine now, though, with the money. They don't know yet. I think I'll call them tomorrow. Let them know things will be easier.
Aww.
Mama said this morning he's showing progress with the new treatment, too. It's just a matter of time.
Exactly. I allow myself to smile, genuine and uninhibited. It's strange talking about this with other people, even those who have known you for long enough. But today, things simply feel a whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. A laugh here, a playful jab there, but most of it is spent on catching up and telling stories about whatever's keeping us busy these days. Something we couldn't afford to do the day before, taking into account what happened. Even Becca's surprisingly chatty. Is there something in the sea bass we ate? Zach, though, appears less energetic. While he's far from being the life of the party, he's definitely not the type to keep quiet in a conversation with his friends. Apart from a few inputs, he's been silent the entire time. If Becca notices.
Are you sure you're not feeling under the weather, Zachary?
Huh? No, I'm okay. No worries, Rebecca.
Doesn't sound okay to me.
It's okay. I might be feeling a little bummed out today, but I'm sure this will pass.
I mean, it was my turn yesterday.
Is it about the reviews this morning?
Oh. A pained expression crosses Zach's face, and almost immediately Becca retreats in her inquiry as though the man's look is enough for an answer for her. Oh no. I look between the two of them. Did I miss something? What happened this morning? Did I stumble on a big secret? This is why I don't like waking up late.
You heard about those, huh?
Sorry, I just happened to check on some sites this morning.
Nah, it's a very sensitive topic in the first place.
Aww.
I should have expected it.
What reviews?
Bella glances at Zach, her motions unsure, eyes asking for his consent on the matter. Although there's a small desire to keep asking on my part, I don't dare to voice it. With Zach, it's always been better to wait. Let him speak on his own. Becca, too, to some extent, although with her, the explosions of temper are more common. In the end, he simply answers with a shift of his shoulders, gesturing for her to go on with the tilt of his head.
It's his movie.
That doesn't explain anything. Stop dangling the information, Becca!
Zachary, I'm not the one supposed to be telling her about this. It's still your documentary.
Is it something bad?
Not bad per se. You guys don't need to dwell on it much.
Bad? Listen here. I wouldn't trivialize what those bowheads wrote if I were you. They're ruining other people's jobs.
From how her tone rises in anger, it seems like she's the one slighted, not Zach. A snicker escapes me, which I promptly stamp down on as soon as she sends me a hard look.
This isn't a laughing matter, Isabella. Some bowbag just insulted him.
Calm down, Rebecca. Those are just reviews, and it happens a lot.
Oh, wow.
I do not ken about you two, but calling the entire film an out-and-out drivel, you're better off watching an educational kids' TV show, and worst 1.5 hour of my life, among other things, isn't exactly a critique any decent movie reviewer would say.
That's true, actually. That's just downright insulting.
If you could call that a critique! Did we even watch the same film?
Well, maybe I ain't cut out for it. Better stick with my photography or something.
Oh no, come on. You can't just give up just because one idiot said that you suck. Like, you know how many things we would miss out on if people did that? If everybody did that?
If nothing else, this helped me open my eyes to what I can and can't do.
You're giving up.
It wasn't a question.
It was just something experimental I did on my free time anyway. It's no big deal.
No, but you put your heart into it, and no, that's not right.
But you worked on it for months.
Doesn't look like it matters for those people.
Don't say that!
My palm strikes the table, sending the tableware on top clinking against each other. I didn't even notice when I rose from my seat. But here I am, chest heaving, looking down at him in the same manner a teacher would at any unruly student. Becca's probably proud. I didn't mean to yell, but there's some things people like Zach aren't supposed to say. How exasperating. He, of all people, should know.
It's just a review.
Except they're pretty well-known critics.
Why does that matter? They aren't the ones calling the shots on this. Isn't that why they have a committee? Right, Becca?
An amused gleam in her eyes when I turn to her. What does she find so entertaining here? Help me here. Your friend's about to quit his passion for petty reasons. I haven't read what those people wrote about his work, but a few scathing words shouldn't be enough to discourage someone. I should know, after all, I'm...
Failing means you're playing, Zach. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I've seen it from start to finish, and I know for myself what you created isn't something people should scoff at. I don't know anything about filming or photography. Hell, I don't have an inkling of artistry in me except for those doodles I make for class. But I know what I watched. Look at Isabella. It's not every day you see her all riled up like this.
Whatever I'm about to say gets lost in my tongue as a flush of embarrassment blooms across my face.
It was a heat of the moment thing. And anyway, I'll be very angry with you if you quit. What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Oh, come on! I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
A burst of laughter comes from Zach.
Thanks, you two. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
There's no face at all. Only a poor imitation of a puppy dog eyes, if you could call this one.
Promise?
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys.
Aww.
Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now. What's night ain't for another week.
Exactly. And that's all the answer I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path that you've walked. It's not like it's over for me, though. I still have time. I could still come back. Do my own thing, do what I really want to do. Surely, once Papa recovers, once I'm done with everything. Inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking the pleasant afternoon lull. The screen shows Rose.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Ha ha. Very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't. I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
She states that as if it already explains everything. Then, out of the blue, she launches into a long rant about the awful state of Luxbourne streets. All of which she says in a single breath that I can barely keep up and make out a single word. I stay quiet, if only to avoid becoming the next object of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that regard.
I'm stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
When she has finally run out of things to complain about and stops, what she says next still has none of what I'm hoping to hear from her. Just a quick mumbled plea for me to meet the right interior designer in her stead, and then...
Anyway, I'll leave it to you. Bye. Thanks.
Classic Rose. She ends the call without even asking for my input. War journal. A day after the open house, the Wrights were seen securing the mansion's purchase at Briar Realty's Luxbourne office. Parties involved in the transaction were surprised at how fast it went, but agreed it was to be expected when dealing with influential people like the Wrights. Happy over the sale, Isabella Santos treats her friends to lunch. The sky is cloudless, and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we leave the cafe. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL lately, not to mention my boss's mercurial moods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. For all the gripes about the unpredictable weather, though, the streets of Luxbourne remain constantly busy. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and inane chatter coming from the lunchtime crowd filled the humid afternoon air. A small reminder of the things we still have to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to Briar Realty for me, Zach to a meeting with a magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lessons plans and books at home. But, more than once, I catch her sneaking a longing glance over something displayed on a shop window. Did she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her for this Christmas. I turn my head to the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. She looks at me. Eyes hollow, gaze piercing, and boring into my very soul like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. There are no shadows or whispers this time. Only a plea. A hum. Low and indistinct. What the fuck am I looking at? Compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me to the void beyond the glass. I don't dare move. My heart hammers against my rib. Each beat, every thump, screaming at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All of my limbs feel heavy, while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretched into a wide grin, unpleasant. Stretched into a grin, wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arms and her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after what I want. Not after I got what I want from Papa.
No, stop. Leave me alone.
Her face contorts and she lets out a wail, sharp and utterly unforgiving. Rage. There's only hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat hoarse from the screams I didn't even notice already coming out of my mouth. The back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling to the ground. The resulting pain completely jolts me out of the haze, blurring my mind. For a while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar, until Becca's face swims into my vision. A look of concern is on her face, and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zach appears beside himself with worry while he stands behind her, acting as a shield against the small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, my weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home at the pit of my stomach. I want to throw up. Anything to get the wretched sensation out.
You were screaming! Zach, call someone!
No, don't! I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Careful! Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zach, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
I attempt to smile to put her at ease, but it likely comes off as a grimace. Gently, I push her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me. Stay away. Away. The humidity's stifling. Everyone's stares are unnerving, and Becca and Zach's concerns are suffocating. I don't want to be here. No more. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left bed this morning. Next up is, after a pleasant lunch with Zachary Steele and Rebecca Gales, Isabella Santos receives an urgent phone call from Rose Cooper, asking her to meet with the right interior designer. Left with no choice, she hurried back to BRC, but on her way, on one of the shops she passed by, a familiar smile greeted her. Here, with only the occasional drips of water on the sink and the whirling of the fan blades to keep me company, it's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. But even with the clutter to keep me company, the room still feels a whole lot bigger than usual. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there was a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I've left wide open. My gaze shifts over to the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Funny how an ordinary-looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away or rip it to pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me be? What about those people who have already seen it? Will they be okay? This uncertainty gnaws at me, knowing that she's real and might also go after the people I care about. I just wish someone would listen. Believe me. The abrupt break in the silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Frowning, I take a quick look at the clock on my bedside table. It's late. No one usually visits me around this hour. Except for maybe...
Isabella? Are you in there?
Her tone is tentative, unsure, testing whether I'll respond or not. Any other day, she'll just enter the room after one knock. Today, I think she's trying to be considerate. She knows I'm in here, and she can easily go inside since I've given her a copy of my key years ago. Purely on her insistence, of course, after she saw the state of my room. In her own words, like a hurricane passed through the place. Ever since, she dropped by time to time either to share whatever she dished up or help me clean. She knocks again, louder this time, albeit the kind with less urgency. I take that as my cue to answer the door.
Hey. Hey there. Mind if I come in?
She holds out a paper bag to me. From inside, a savory aroma wafts into the air, making my stomach rumble rather loudly. Becca shoots me a knowing smile before she walks into my apartment like she owns the place.
I knew you missed dinner. I picked this up on my way home. Thought you'd like one too.
Aww.
And why is it so dark in here? Were you sleeping when I knocked?
I move to turn on the lights myself before she stretches her hand out for the switch.
Not really. I was just thinking.
About? Did you rearrange things again? Where are the plates?
Stuff. The cupboard to your right, top shelf.
Only the clinking of silverware could be heard as the hush fills the room, a sound both familiar and awkward. I can easily answer her previous question to cover for the lack of talk, but from her hurried movements and hesitant tone, I know she'll bring it up sooner or later. The food's just a ruse to get me to open my mouth. I'm unsure if I should be happy or mad that I have someone like Becca who knows me so well. Minutes later, she's pushing a plate in my hands and settles on the sofa opposite the seat at the edge of the bed. She sticks a fork in her own dish, yet does not go beyond shoving the meat and peas around her plate. She would have scolded me by now if I did the same in front of her. Shrugging, I look down at my own food and...
It's pork? Are you sure you want to eat this?
Don't look at me like I'm feeding you poisonous stuff.
I know, but pork? You hate pork.
I don't hate it. I just don't like eating it on a regular basis. I can always burn it off with a few hours of jogging. Why are you being picky about this? You're the one who doesn't even gain weight no matter how much or whatever you eat.
I was just asking. You threw a fit when I used pork in your stovies that one time.
It wasn't a good day to eat that?
Uh-huh.
And what about you? You don't seem to be having a good day either. This afternoon?
She opens the subject with the same finesse a bulldozer has. I might have laughed if we were talking about something else. I'm almost impressed. She used to complain about my own tendency to do that. In the end, Becca simply gives up any pretense of eating and sets her own plate on the side table. She leans forward in her seat, clasping her hands together in her lap as her expression grows serious. Reminds me of that one time I got sent to the principal's office. I can neither recall when or why. The memory is vague now, considering the years since. But I remember squirming on my seat a lot, the agonizing weight, and the intense desire to leave the room.
Isabella, what happened?
I spear a piece of meat and pop it into my mouth. It's good, but the taste doesn't really register. A shame. Becca, sharp as always, is quick to pick up on this and pushes through her questions, foregoing her place in the couch to sit next to me. Not that the concern is unwelcome, quite the opposite, actually. Set the expectation that we'd fall into the same cyclical argument is there.
About yesterday, during Zach's movie, things didn't end well, and I guess... No, let me rephrase that. I just want to say I'm sorry. We're sorry. We were pretty harsh.
Although I'm still upset about it, Becca seems sincere with her apology. What's the point? Kind of seems like I'm throwing her words in her face. I'll stick with I was telling the truth.
I was telling the truth.
Ah! Well, I won some major points with Rebecca there. What is it that people often say? Words lose their meaning when you keep repeating them. And they do. My voice comes out as a whisper, an earnest plea. But its meaning rings hollow even to my own ears. How long are they going to keep asking me the same thing? How many times do I have to tell them that I've seen what I've seen before they believe me?
Is this it?
Becca picks up the letter from the table, and for the first time since this exchange started, I look up from my food. She inspects it in the same manner one does with something fragile, holding it with all the care in the world. Her stare lingers on the message printed on it. Something pensive sets in her face as she reads the lines over and over again. I want to stop her, take the paper away from her hands, hide it. But it's too late now, isn't it? It dawns on me now that maybe yesterday's argument was also my fault. Because more than wanting them to believe me, I was also running away from the guilt. From the idea that I've put my own friends in danger. And I'm afraid to do anything about it. I'm a coward.
Sorry, I wasn't able to get a good look at it when Ash was holding it yesterday.
It isn't like it'll make a difference.
Where did you even find this?
The attic.
Attic where? The mansion? You know, this might have a historical significance.
I doubt it. It was on the floor when I saw it.
So a prank then?
It's not a prank! That's the same thing I was telling you yesterday.
Then tell me what happened. I can't understand where you're coming from if you keep giving me short-clipped answers.
Well, if you keep fucking interrupting me, I can't give you the full answers.
Please?
I fall silent. Becca's far from a person who'll believe in such things yet.
You really want to hear it?
She nods. I tell her everything. From the moment I arrived at the mansion, my search for Rose, and what I saw. True to her word, she listens. Not in the same way a person hangs on to a storyteller's every word as if it's the only truth in the world, but in the manner a person who is simply offered to lend an ear to someone who needs it does. No personal opinions, no long arguments whether it's the truth or not, just her undivided attention. And it's pleasant to be heard, that is.
Is it the same? This afternoon? When you... I've never heard you scream like that.
She was there.
She? Who is she? I'm missing a lot of things here, Belle.
Her! The ghost! She's just there, standing, calling for me.
On the streets? I don't...
On the window! Becca, it's her face when she looks at me. It's here, stuck in my head. I can't shake it off. There are voices, shadows asking for help. I don't know how. I don't know what she wants from me. Lord, I don't even know how to help myself right now.
My hands begin to shake. Balling them into fists is all I can do to keep them from moving. She may not be here. I may not be seeing her misshapen face smiling at me, but the dread remains. I don't want to be here by myself. I don't want to be left alone with these haunting images again.
I'm sorry. I didn't know this has been bothering you like this.
Why are you apologizing?
Look at you. This isn't the Isabella I know. Any other day you'd bounce back. You got what you wanted today. Your dad's gonna be okay. And yet here you are. Zach can tell. I'm sure Ash can as well. I'm probably the only one thinking of selfish reasons the day before.
Where exactly is this coming from, Becca?
I don't think she means to say that one aloud, judging by how quick her head snaps up at my question.
Certain things. It's nothing. Don't get worked up about it.
She was slightly jealous when she realized that Ash picked up Isabella from the mansion.
Anyhow, I should go. Try not to think about it, alright? You need your rest, and I've got papers to check and lesson plans to review for this week's class. I'll be next door if you need me.
My hands move automatically to grab the back of her shirt before she can take a single step away. I have no idea what came over me. Her apartment's next door. I can easily bother her if I need something. She said so herself. However, my trembling hands refuse to budge. I don't want to be alone.
Do you want me to stay?
Can you? Just until I fall asleep?
What are you, 5?
Please. I really, absolutely don't want to be left alone right now. I tried to sleep earlier. Last night, too. I thought a shower would help today, but it's still in my head.
What am I going to do with you?
I smile.
Thank you, Becca. You can bring your work here if you want.
Yep. We just keep climbing that ladder with Rebecca.
No thanks. My brain needs a break too. In any case, I won't be able to function properly here.
She's talking about the room. She gestures at my room, at the clutter specifically, like it hasn't offended her. It probably did.
How can you work in this place?
I just do! Hey, I don't say anything about your room.
That's because it's clean. Of course there's nothing else for you to comment on.
Hey, I clean too. Once a week. Or month?
We continue like this for the rest of the night, with mundane and nonsensical talk about anything our minds could think of, over food long left cold. To an outsider, it might sound uninteresting, boring even, but to us, it's good enough. Sleep comes easier tonight, and for the first time in a long time, I dream. Of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small, cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I allow myself to sleep in for the sake of sleeping in. The clock is flashing 9 a.m. when I open my eyes. Becca's already gone, likely to the library. She has a habit of keeping herself busy even on a weekend. She did leave a note on my fridge reminding me to eat, along with a plate of breakfast on the counter. Really. She gets angry when I call her mom, but then she goes ahead and does things like this. I flop back lazily on my bed. From my window, I can hear the world beginning to stir. I should too. There are still papers to organize, documents to sign and hand over tomorrow. Yet, just staring at the gloomy white ceiling like this, waking up alone, it's easy to be filled with the irrational need to go back to sleep. But I've got calls to make, people to check on, and good news to deliver. Blindly, I fumble for my phone on the nightstand and dial the number I've been itching to call since yesterday. It rings for a good while. I can already imagine Mama's startled face. She's probably cooking something for dinner right now. Knowing her, she'll turn off the stove first, like she'll always remind me. Wash her hands and wipe them thoroughly on her apron before picking up the phone. Small, striking habits. Small, striking habits I didn't know I'll miss until I've stopped seeing them.
Hello? Santos residence?
Mama, how are you?
The usual pleasantries, questions about how they're doing, how's life going back on at home, Bits and pieces, although small, helps form a vague picture of what I'm missing in my mind. EJ's excited voice resounds from the other end, and I smile to myself.
What about you? Are you eating well?
You asked that a few days ago, but yeah. And, Mama, I've got something to tell you.
Oh no, you're not pregnant, are you?
Ouch!
What? No! Mama, stop making jokes like that.
This is a serious question, Grace. I've been looking at your face nook.
Face nook.
Who is this Ashton? Are you pregnant?
Wow, really?
Who? Ash? No, no, no! Oh, good heavens! It isn't like that! We aren't like that! No one's pregnant, Mama!
Well then stop stalling! You're making me nervous, Grace.
Hey, you're the one who made me stall. So very like Mama to jump to conclusions like that. And against my better judgment, I laugh. Light and surprisingly easier now that the heavy weight has lifted. Mama's clicking her tongue on the other end, impatient by the delay. I want to hug her.
Remember the house? We got a buyer yesterday. I'll be able to send a remittance soon.
Even with hundreds of miles separating us right now, the relief, her relief, is palpable. The tired lilt in her voice is still there, but it's fading. Perhaps not now, but maybe in the near future. When Papa's well and distance is not a problem.
The buyer gave us a bonus, too. I can send that early while we're waiting to finalize things, because that might take a few days. And then there's...
Grace, stop!
Yes, Mama?
It's okay. Keep it to yourself. You don't have to send everything.
You know she's gonna send everything.
Don't worry. I've got enough here. You taught me how to budget properly, didn't you?
Don't you want to buy something for yourself? Or for your friend? Rebecca, was it?
Rebecca will complain, Mama.
Then tell her it's from me, as thanks for taking care of my stubborn daughter.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
You both sound so alike. But I will. Thanks, Mama.
The call goes longer than usual. And when we hang up, after goodbyes and I love yous have been said, the day appears brighter in my eyes. There are no half-truths or empty promises this time. Light streams through my open window. The world is fully awake, and the last vestiges of sleep have faded from my eyes. Maybe a walk is good. I need to visit the grocery, too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened recently near the park? So what's the journal say? Concerned for her friend, Rebecca Gales visited Isabella's apartment. The two had a heart-to-heart talk as the latter recounted everything that happened during the open house. At her request, Rebecca stayed for the night to watch over her. Isabella Santos happily informed her family of the big remittance being sent soon after the Ermengarde Mansion successful sale. Things are looking up for the Santos family. But there is a definite but in that sentence. The cat's name is Beruthiel. Or at least that's what its collar says. It's an odd name to give a cat, in my opinion. But it speaks grace much like the one that carries it. It shows in the way he swishes his tail, and his eyes follow my hand's every movement. I'm not sure what he finds fascinating in me, to be honest. I wasn't the very picture of grace when he found me, after all. It was a bad idea, carrying 2 heavy bags of newly bought art materials and groceries without help or a sure ride home. In hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have bought all of these at the same time. Didn't even make it past the park. And now I'm suffering underneath the glaring afternoon sun, hunched up on a park bench and drenched in sweat, in the company of a cat curiously watching my every movement. I hope it stays where it is. It's just a black cat, but back home, they're considered ill omens. Oh, fuck off.
Don't look at me like that. I can act graceful as well if I want to.
Not that I've ever acted graceful in my life, of course. Growing up with rowdy younger brothers and a sister does that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Mama used to call me a little troublemaker back then. Well, graceful or not, there's no use moping. Short breather, and then I'm off home. Besides, it isn't like the company's bad. Even if it is a cat. As long as it doesn't bite. Or cross my path.
Well, where's your owner, anyway?
He has one, doesn't he? An owner? That's what the collar's for, isn't it? A bandage is wrapped over one of its paws, though. I wonder what happened to it. Aww. Did he run away?
Well, if you don't have one, I won't be able to take you in. My apartment doesn't allow pets.
Boo! Boo! Hiss, hiss, boo!
I tried to bring one home before. A cat. Not black, of course. And Rebecca threw a fit before the landlady could.
I take a small packet of sweets from one of the bags beside me and pop it open. As I'm about to put it into my mouth, he meows. My hand stops.
Do you want one?
If it's chocolate, don't you fucking dare. He doesn't meow again as I'm expecting him to. But I take his unblinking gaze as a yes. I shift the piece of my palm and hold it out to him warily. He sniffs at it once, twice, before...
Baruthia!
Ah! Like a good, properly trained pet, Baruthiel responds as soon as he's called. Recognition comes as soon as my head snaps in the direction of the voice. Miss, Mikola... It's hard to miss, what with her height.
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you? Miss Santos, was it? I'm surprised to see you here.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Baruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh no, he was just sniffing my hand earlier.
My Baruthiel's a she.
Oh, well, sorry. You can't tell from first glance. She? All this time I thought... Pause in conversation, if this can be called one, is uncomfortable. We're merely two people working different jobs for the same client. Frankly, meeting like this doesn't happen a lot, and if it does, a simple nod of heads is enough. Still, trying to be friendly wouldn't hurt, right? Okay, let's talk about the cat. Oh. Shit. Welp. I keep my tone cordial and warm.
I'm actually surprised you have a cat, Miss McCullough.
And why exactly is that? There are a lot of people who have pets.
Yeah, but not a black one. I'm amazed you're taking care of one.
I don't understand what you're trying to get at. Is there a problem with my cat?
Fuck.
No, not at all. She's very sweet. Just in other cultures, aren't they a sign of bad luck?
Back at home it is. My grandmother used to tell me stories about it, and...
Nothing has happened to me so far.
Displeasure is evident on her face. Shit. Of course. I've forgotten that for other people, black cats are an omen of good luck. There you go again, running off your mouth, Isabella. I rack my brain for a way to remedy the situation, but she holds out a hand.
This is a good place to stop and end this conversation, don't you think so?
Fuck.
It is good to see you again, Santos.
Complete dismissal if I've ever heard one. I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold separating the park and the street. She faces me again, looking like there's something she's forgotten to say.
By the way, about the Ermengarde Mansion, with my clients, it's the rights. I mean, I hope you don't mind me asking, but has the deal been finalized?
There's still a few papers they need, but the house is more or less theirs now.
Ah, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, about the mansion.
Isabella. The letter. The same one they saw. Whoever she is, she's asking for help. Someone. I want to tell Miss McCullough that the urban legends aren't just legends anymore. They're real. But she's not going to believe me.
Don't mind me. I need to go too. Have a good day, Miss McCullough.
I hasten to pick up all the bags that I've left on the bench and ran as far as my legs can take me. In that moment, what I'm carrying in my hands weighs far lighter than the overwhelming guilt trying to consume me. Home. I want to go home. Anywhere where I won't be reminded of the house. Of her. Of my own cowardice. The food tastes less appetizing tonight. Does it say there? Yep. A pity. One would think that someone who had been on a continuous binge of instant noodles would find a home-cooked meal enjoyable. But it isn't. Hunger isn't what is gnawing at me tonight. Neither are my sore muscles. The TV runs loudly in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. It's hard when the things you're trying to forget keep returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you, eats at you, devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was somebody else.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home.
Oh? Uh-oh.
Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide.
Okay. Huh?
The victim, identified as Rose Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
Oh, fuck. Rose?
Discovered lying in a pool of blood in her two-bedroom flat with the words "Help me" repeatedly written on the walls.
No. No. Well, I mean, that explains why her name isn't on the relationship bit, and I've been wondering about that for a while, but yeah, something happened to her. This isn't what I want. This isn't supposed to happen. None of this is supposed to happen. No one's supposed to die. Those are just stories, right? Legends. That's what everyone's been telling me, so why? And Immediately I rush to my study table to search for my phone. My hand, cold from dread, clings tightly to it as soon as it touches its edges. A piece of folded paper, the letter, lying unassumingly beside it, slips to the floor when I pick up the device. And I pay it no mind. There are more important things. Right now. Right now. I need to call her. I need to call her. I was with her. I was just with her not too long ago, and she was okay. No. 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 It isn't Rose. I'm sure of it. I just talked to her, and a sob escapes me, and hot tears begin to blur my vision. One after another, they trickle down, weighted by the very same guilt I refuse to admit I've been carrying from the start. The same one I've been hiding from. The same one that has put the people I care about in danger. My hands shake as I navigate to Rose's number on my contact list. She'll answer, right? That's what she always does. She'll pick it up, tell me to turn down the waterworks, and call me a wuss afterwards.
She'll answer. Please answer, Rose.
Oh, look at that. That's so sad. Again and again, I dial. Whispering. Praying. Pleading.
Come on, Rose. Don't do this to me. Please pick up. I know you're there, Rose. You're not dead. Please tell me you're not.
This adds to the series of deaths and disappearances that has plagued Luxbourne in the recent years. The authorities are currently looking at a possible link with the notorious Anselm Butcher case.
The TV runs loudly in the background. A deafening static sound from my phone speakers. But in my ears, I can only hear the screams. Her pleas. Her whispers. We are not safe. Buzzing sensation jolts me awake. Yep. My body still wants to sleep, to forget what I heard, what I saw last night. But it's there, nudging, prodding at me. Slowly, I become aware of how awkward my position is, and the aches that accompany sleeping in a curled-up position the night before. Even if I slept at all. The memories are impossible to forget now that Rose is gone. They say it's easier when you say it out loud. Instead, the words weigh heavier on me each time. She's gone. Gone. Because of me. Gone because one letter I was too curious to look at. I should have been more careful. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have destroyed it before anyone else had gotten involved. I should have... The notification light on my laptop blinks incessantly, mockingly, when I look at it, as if it's calling me back to a sense of normalcy. I check it, nevertheless, out of habit more than anything. To all BRC employees, in light of the recent events, there will be an all-staff emergency meeting from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Attendance is a must. Company changes, new hierarchy, and policies will all be discussed during the meeting. Everyone is expected to bring a copy of their own attendance logs and sales reports for the last 6 months to be submitted to your respective managers for review. We are expecting everyone's cooperation. Thank you. Joan Alice Schulz, BRC HR Manager. If this were one of those typical days, I'd happily comply and get myself to our office. Today my limbs just feel heavy. On one hand, going will keep me busy, take my mind elsewhere. On the other, the place in itself is a stark reminder of what my own fears have cost me. I should just... As much as I would love to stay at home, I gotta go. Moping won't get me anywhere. This is just like one of those things, isn't it? You deal with it with a smile, no matter how bad things get, and hope for the best. Although my whole body feels like lead and my limbs are sore, I push myself away from the chair and head for the shower. The letter I dropped on the floor last night flutters open as I pass by, unfolding for no one else but for me to see. Every word written on it glares back at me. They sneer. They ridicule. Like living beings fully aware of what they've done. With a huff, I pick it up and shove it into my bag, perhaps with more anger and frustration than I'm used to showing. This, too, I'll deal with. Somehow I'll find a way and make things right. I have to, before it takes more people from me, even if I must do it on my own. Papers rustling, telephones ringing, feet shuffling. Overall, today looks like a typical working day at Briar Realty Corporation. Except it isn't. The air is thick with tension and unspoken questions. No doubt everyone present has already heard about Rose. If they missed last night's report, they'd likely see it in the morning news, in the papers, or on various news sites on the internet. Everywhere is a bitter reminder. In fact, everyone's giving me a wide berth, as though the mere mention of Rose would be enough to trigger something in me. It's appreciated, but it only serves to create a bigger hole in the place Rose has left. After lunch, my boss calls for a meeting. I don't have to look up from my work to know what it's about. He's in a strange, pensive mood today, perhaps out of respect for a dead colleague. Oddly, I'd appreciate it more if he just shouted at me today. Anything's better.
I'm sure you've all heard of what happened to Miss Cooper. She was a valued member of our team and she will be missed. There's no date for a funeral, yet, but those who wish to attend, kindly speak with your respective supervisors. By the way, has anyone heard about our still AWOL staff? None? HR, you know what to do. Santos, a word? In my office?
Fuck. At the end of it, I've been given the entirety of Rose's workload, including finalizing the rights papers, and have been promised an ample compensation for my efforts. I think it's expecting me to be happy about it. Instead, I immerse myself in my work. I have to. I want to forget. Employee of the month. Wow. Okay. Meanwhile, news broke of Rose Cooper being found dead in her flat. The evening, blah, blah, blah. Oh, 4. Isabella Santos drowned herself with work the whole day to forget about the devastating news of her mentor's death. However, she ended up stumbling upon a mysterious disappearance of her other colleagues, just when she realized something important. Okay. Guess maybe that was a spoiler. Time flies when you do, and by the time I give notice, it's already late. Everyone's already gone, leaving me in the company of a radio and a member of our janitorial staff. I don't even know his name. Rose likely does. She remembers people's names easily like that.
The Luxbourne Police Department continues its search for the following reported missing people.
The radio blares one name after another. Hold on a second. Missing? Aren't they? Still, I have to check. Frantic, I turn back to my laptop. Or desktop, rather. The loud tapping of my fingers against the keys fills the office for the better part of my shift as I look through everything. The background about the place, its history from the current owners, and a list of employees hired under BRC. And I'm right. Of course I am. BRC may have a lot of staff, they may have a lot of agents hired, but I remember those names anywhere. After all, they're also part of the crew who worked with us in preparing the mansion for the open house. Then the letters. No, that can't be. I hope it's not what I'm thinking.
But Rose is...
Something snaps into place in a fragment of a second. These people, Rose, the letter.
I need to... No, if it's like this, they still won't believe me. I have to make sure of it first.
Evidence doesn't lie. That's what Ash often says, right? If I have proof, then maybe. I don't want to get my hopes up, but maybe there's still a way I can save them. The letter, my phone, papers, anything that will be useful, I grab all of them and stuff them in my bag. I can't stay here. There's something I need to do. There's something those people should... The noise cuts sharply through the room, stopping my hand short of cramming a pen into my bag.
Hello? Anyone there?
Someone must have left their printer open again. I may be in a hurry, but if I don't turn it off, another person's going to have a fit tomorrow over wasted company resources. Most of the time it's Rose who does the nagging, but the clicking of my pen in my hand is a welcome distraction as I search for the said object. Each stride my feet takes also echoes throughout the empty workplace. I'd lost sight of the janitor minutes ago, and with me being the only one left, the tapping of my feet against the wooden floor is something I soon learned to appreciate. It doesn't take me long to find it. By the time I turn it off, 5 pages are already strewn about the ground, the paper tray having also been left ajar. Sighing, I pick up each one to put someplace proper, but the page that greets me next makes my blood run cold. Wow! The chill that makes its way up my spine is as numbing as the day in the attic. The sheets crinkle under my tense grip. All I can hear is my breathing as it rasps through my grated teeth. But before I can even gather myself, take the first step out of there, total darkness suddenly envelops me. Oh, good. Oh, this is just fucking perfect. And as if hearing every horrid thought running inside my head right now, something snaps. A soft creak grating through the thin veil of stillness that has descended in the room. Every muscle, every bone in my body goes rigid at the sound. Familiar. So familiar now. Yet my own traitorous curiosity still presses me to take a careful peek over the crucible's wall. Oh boy. It's her. Standing in the only exit of the office, albeit facing away from me. She doesn't even need to turn around for me to know it's the same misshapen face, tattered clothes, and unsightly gait. The same person in the attic. I take a step back. The pen I'm holding slips from my hand and... Oh fuck. Oh fuck. A scream almost escapes my mouth, and I duck under the table as quickly as I can. My heart is pounding hard against my chest. I can hear the bone-chilling sounds of her walk, the weird clicking that follows her, the telltale squelch of something wet as she walks towards me. Nearer and nearer. The sounds are slowly getting louder. The only thing keeping the whimper from escaping me is a hand as it covers my mouth. Someone, please save me. Anyone? I close my eyes, muttering a conscious stream of prayers, all while attempting to steady my own breathing. Please, please, don't let her hear me. Oh. Oh, fuck. I think I just died.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
When the last lines of my prayer have left me, all that remains is a hush. I legit think I die. None of her footsteps, nor those chilling sounds she makes. Only silence. Is it safe? Another second passes. And when nothing comes... What? Yep, I dead. Fuck. Yep. Okay. Welp. Ah, fuck. Can't stop, won't stop, and grasp the nettle. Okay. Seconds, minutes, stretch out before me agonizingly. Is she gone? Slowly I open my eyes to take a peek. I don't dare move or make a noise. In the face of such terror, I can only beg, let out a silent plea to whoever is out there. Please, please don't let her notice. I want to live.